If this is your first time or your usual time with us, then welcome to XboxEra. We provide a platform for the Xbox community from our forums and Discord, our main site with the latest news and reviews, and our podcasts like the XboxEra podcast and You Had Me at Halo. We exist, our focus on the Xbox platform front and center, because so many media publications out there don't. We love this community and believe Xbox really can be the very best place to play. If you love what we do, help us. You can join as a YouTube member, or even better, subscribe to us on Patreon. You help us grow and get plenty of perks to enjoy as a token of our appreciation. Just head to patreon.com/XboxEra. And as always, thanks for sticking around. Hello, friends, and welcome to episode, I wasn't quite ready for Jesse to point at me, 160 of the XboxEra podcast. I'm your host, Sik and Nick, and I'm joined, as per usual, by Special Nick.
What's going on?
You're feeling a bit low energy today, bro. You know, you got your Zelda t-shirt on, you got your Tears of Kingdom, everything. We'll get into it in a minute, but, you know, we'll try and pep you up a little bit. I know it's early for you in Australia.
It's early, and it's Mother's Day.
And you're in trouble. Okay.
Mother's Day, and look where I am on Mother's Day. I'm here.
We can tell who wears the trousers in that household, right?
Mate.
And joining us as well, likely to be on camera more often now, I think, is the wonderful Jesse J. Norris, aka Don Cabeza. How you doing, man? You had a good week?
I am. I'm doing pretty well.
Without a name badge. It doesn't have a name badge.
Yeah, I know, because the one I have, it doesn't work right, so I didn't put it up because it's my old one. Been working on an accessory review. I can't, I'll update it. I wasn't on this screen. I couldn't do it. Working on an accessory review I can't talk about yet, and playing lots of streaming, Tears of the Kingdom, and some other stuff that I'm sure we'll get into in a bit.
Yeah. Nice. All right. Hello, chat. Nice to see you guys. I hope you're all having a wonderful weekend thus far. Full disclosure, it's going to be a quiet, short.
Almost nothing to talk about.
There's almost nothing. We'll stretch, an hour out of it, I'm sure, maybe longer. But, there's not a lot. There's no drama really going on. Everyone's in a pretty good mood. So let's talk about what we've been playing this week. What have we been playing? Let's start with Nick. What have you been playing, bro?
What have I been playing? Let me show you what I've been playing.
Is it perchance something you've got a bit of a theme going?
I spent a lot of money on what I've been playing. God. Where is he? So there's the amiibo that I got of Link. I got the Pro controller. It's quite a nice controller. And I haven't got the proper grip yet because Skull & Co. aren't shipping it till the 15th. So I've just got this interim grip for my Switch, which is not nice. And that's my new Switch there. See, you can see my Xbox Live Vision camera there. And see, that's my camera. Look at the phone. See my phone? That's my camera.
Nice. Is it going to fall over this episode, or are we going to be okay?
I hope not. I made a change last week, so hopefully that doesn't happen. See, what a professional setup I have. I've just got my phone there.
Totes profesh.
My Xbox Live Vision camera that I use for Teams because I don't want to unfold my laptop that I've got here. But yes, I've been playing Tears of the Kingdom since it came out.
Jesse said he's been streaming it as well, right?
So that's what I'm showing on stream now.
Yeah.
So you can tell by how fuzzy it is. I'm playing on a Switch.
Yeah. Look, I mean, I potentially have some controversial thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom that probably go against the grain of the universal praise that everyone has been going out of their way to give the game. Don't get me wrong. It's a good game. Tears of the Kingdom is a very, very good video game. But I'm not going to sit there and act in denial and not say that it's Breath of the Wild Sky Island DLC like I thought it might be when I saw the trailer. the same Hyrule from Breath of the Wild is right there. Like, it's there. It's the same map. Exactly the same.
Literally the same map?
Yes.
All the towers.
The same. Yep. It's the same.
It's the
game.
same landmass,
Like,
but with an updated look and different stuff in different places.
Yeah, there's a few little minor changes here and there, but at its core, at its foundation, it is the same Hyrule from Breath of the Wild, and they've now got a sky section to it.
There's some other stuff too you'll run into as well, Nick.
You're introduced on the Sky Island, and it's funny, it was actually called the Great Sky Island or something, so I even got the name right without knowing. And, it's got all the... So there's a bunch of new powers. I will say I do love that new power where you can jump straight through a roof and up onto the roof of whatever is above you. God, I really like that power.
Ascend.
But I'm not... Yes, I'm not going to lie and act like this isn't just something that could have probably been a really expansive DLC for Breath of the Wild. It's not the prettiest game. Like Tears of the Kingdom is a perfect example of why we needed a Switch 2 by now, or a Switch Pro. Because the game's doing a lot, so I understand why it's not the prettiest. Like, Super Mario Odyssey, for example, is absolutely gorgeous and runs at 60 frames per second and has quite big open hub mini worlds. It's not open world like Breath of the Wild is, Tears of the Kingdom is, but each world you travel to is quite big and open in Super Mario Odyssey. But Super Mario Odyssey doesn't have all the physics and the AI and the systems. Mario's Mario. Your Goombas go around real slow, and your enemies have super basic patterns and super basic... So that's part of how Super Mario Odyssey can be so beautiful and 60 frames. So I understand why Tears of the Kingdom looks the way it does, where the textures look like they could easily belong on a GameCube, and why... Yeah, anyway, I've seen a lot of reviewers talk about how beautiful... I mean...
There's incredible artwork there. I think Link and some of the character models look awesome, but then the actual world and almost everything
what I've
in
noticed
is very low res.
You know what I've noticed Nintendo is doing? Or Monolith, because they helped develop it. What I noticed Nintendo are using is that technique that I think we first kind of heard about it in Halo 5. So do you remember 343 were talking about it with Halo 5, where they said, as stuff gets further away...
It renders at less FPS.
It'll renders at less. The frame rate on that specific thing becomes 30. As it gets closer, it becomes... I think Nintendo is utilizing that technique very heavily in Tears of the Kingdom. Like, because I noticed that with Link, like, I'd turn the camera around and it'd be zoomed back and he'd look real rough. And then as soon as I zoomed in, he looked so beautiful and clean and nice. And I'm like, whoa, what's... So I think they're really using that.
And they have a heavy dynamic resolution scaling system in. It's actually one of the things when I saw someone who was emulating it at like 4K 60, and it looks pretty darn nice. The world textures don't look good, but everything else looks really nice. And they also had a mod that forces it to always be max internal resolution scaling, and it's just like night and day how much better looking everything is.
Well, yeah, its art style is nice. Like that's that's always the case in Zelda games. But of course, the hardware, like, I would love a situation, like, you know how we discovered all these 360 games that were doing so much more once the backwards compatibility came along? And
when you got to zoom in and the textures were like, oh, wait, they've been really cleaned up. And
all of a sudden it's like, whoa, these 360 games had details in them we did not know were there because of the hardware.
Yeah.
I suspect and hope that Tears of the Kingdom is something similar, where when the next Switch comes out, all of a sudden, something like Tears of the Kingdom just shines. Again,
it shines right now on PC in that way.
Probably, yeah.
It suggests that that's possible.
If you look at it, it's a very nice looking game when it's running at a locked 4K and 60. It's gorgeous.
And I noticed from this footage that Jesse's making the same mistake I made at this part with the hook thing and whatever, and I made the mistake of thinking you have to put two hooks on there.
Yeah, you can just
on
grab
that
the
cart.
hook. Yeah.
No, but you got to
two?
put two hooks on. You got to put one at the front, one at the end, and they have to go the different way for it to stay on properly.
Yeah.
And then I put the two. Mine kept coming off.
Yeah.
My fan was too powerful, and it kept just blowing me off.
It's a very fun game. It hits me hard because I liked Breath of the Wild, but I did not like the start. Like the first 10 to 15 hours of Breath of the Wild, where you're incredibly weak, you have no hearts, you have no stamina, you have no inventory slots, and every weapon you have breaks after an enemy, or not even after one enemy. That part of the game sucks. And having to have that entire power ramp again in this one sucks. Again, it's still bad.
Yeah, I know.
You just have better abilities early on. Like Fuse and Master Hand and all that shit are really fun compared to the bombs.
Yeah,
and the
Ascend
other
is
stuff.
so good.
But
I love Ascend. Ascend is great.
The thing that killed me about the reviews is so many of them talk about how this fixes all the problems with Breath of the Wild. And I went back and I looked at their Breath of the Wild reviews, and they didn't talk about any of these problems. Like, they were all just glossed over. I'm like, well, what problems are they fixing? You literally said Breath of the Wild was perfect.
But that's what happened with God of War 2018.
Yeah.
All the problems of God of War weren't addressed with Ragnarok. They repeated the exact same mistakes. And people were like, I saw some reviews that were like, they fixed this. Some reviews did call that out, though, I have to admit, with Ragnarok, that they didn't fix a lot of the stuff from God of War 2018. But that's because no one talked about the problems with God of War 2018. All of this speaks further to the problem that too many reviewers trip over themselves to give certain games 10s. That's kind of what's happened here. Again, I love this game so far, just like I love Breath of the Wild, but it's annoying to see so many genuine issues being flat out ignored.
It's okay because it's Nintendo. It's okay because that's the hardware and it's the best it can do. It's okay because X, Y, and Z.
That part is true, and I did say that when you guys were making fun of me for saying you're going to play a game at 30 when Zelda comes out. Again, there's different expectations.
I know.
I understand the Switch isn't going to be able to run this game at 60. Mostly because the draw distance is quite impressive in this game. You could be on one of those sky islands and be looking down and see a campfire that's going in the distance. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how are they managing that? So there are some impressive things they're doing visually. Then one could argue, how much do you care that you're seeing that campfire? Do you need to be seeing that campfire? Could that have gone to something else? And I need to understand how all the Zonai stuff works. I still don't know how all that stuff works yet because I'm not creative. It was the part I didn't like in Nuts and Bolts, having to put together all these cool machines,
all the vehicles and stuff.
Because I'm not creative in that way. I'm not an engineer. I've already seen memes and stuff on Twitter with people creating full-on sky bombers in Tears of the Kingdom. Insane sky bombers that you can steer and just bomb everything below you. I'm like, how did you do that? I don't have that engineering and creative prowess that most people do. So I don't know. I'll probably be utilizing very, very basic things.
Rudimentary designs.
Yeah, I tried making a really simple boat to get across a lake, and it was just stupid, this boat. So I ended up just attaching a fan to a glider and throwing it in the water and just jumping on there, turning the fan on, and the glider just went... I was like, okay, this will work. No worries.
It's good that you can just brute force your way through puzzles like that, though.
Look,
there's a good certain amount of freedom.
As far as I'm aware, you technically don't even need to build and make contraptions. As far as I'm aware, you can play this straight up like Breath of the Wild. As far as I'm aware,
there are definite puzzle rooms and stuff that require you to use your abilities. In some of those,
there are specific instances where it's forced. Same with shrines. But yeah, it's just I found a lot of the reviews frustrating. I am famously the only person on the planet who liked Crackdown 2.
Yeah.
I did. I enjoyed Crackdown 2. My issue was the reviews. If you go back and look at reviews for Crackdown 2, most of them absolutely pan it for being built off the same island, the exact same map.
Yeah.
And I'm like, isn't that funny how times have changed? Like, Tears of the Kingdom, Ragnarok, Spider-Man, Miles Morales, all games that build their sequel off the foundation of the first game, all critical darlings, yet Crackdown 2, which did what they've all done and had to do it in 6 months. Those devs only had 6 months or 9 months to make Crackdown 2. And they built it off the same map. They added some new abilities, traversal, new weapons, slightly up the graphics, the day-night cycle with the zombies coming out at night. They added all these things in the space of 6 months. We get games being made for 6 years that keep getting delayed. Crackdown 2 was made in 6 months, and yet everyone shit all over it because it was the same map. Miles Morales is too. Like, Miles Morales is literally just Crackdown 2.
Yeah.
Different character, some new powers in the same map. Brand new game for full price. I just don't like that inconsistency with how games get treated. I just don't like it. It's just,
I can imagine it's frustrating. But it is,
again, it's not about the quality of the games. These are all good games. Tears of the Kingdom is great. Ragnarok was a good game. Miles Morales, I'm sure, I didn't play it, but Miles Morales, I'm sure, was a good game if you just wanted more of Spider-Man. It's just funny the standards, how they change depending on who's making the game. It's just
human beings, man. They'll do what they're going to do.
Now that the world has come to accept sequels that should just be DLC, go back and play Crackdown 2 under that new light. Crackdown 2's not that bad.
See if you have some fun. The wingsuit was cool. They added the wingsuit in Crackdown 2.
The
right?
wingsuit, the jetpack boots, the wingsuit. Crackdown. Yeah, if you loved Crackdown 1, there was no reason for you not to love Crackdown 2. And that's why I found all the hate of Crackdown 2 so odd. Because I loved Crackdown 1, and I'm like, why is everyone shitting on Crackdown 2? Like, it takes Crackdown 1 and adds some stuff. It's cool. But everyone was just shitting all over, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the same island. So, who cares? I don't know. I could rant about Crackdown 2 all day. But yeah, Tears of the Kingdom. It's a good game. I spent a lot of... I got the collector's edition, but I didn't bring that in. I put that away. God, that box is big for the collector's edition. It's like this huge box. It's like really big, and it's got an art book and pins and a steel book and all this sort of stuff. So yes, I spent a lot of money on Tears of the Kingdom, as you can see. Game is good. I don't even know how many hours in I am.
Is it a 10 in your eyes? Is it a 10 out of 10?
No.
Banger?
But Breath of the Wild wasn't a 10. Breath of the Wild wasn't a 10 to me. Super Mario Odyssey is the 10.
Both.
It's just... This is Nintendo's... Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are Nintendo's take on Ubisoft games. That's ultimately what they are. It's Nintendo's take on it. Like, the Ubisoft games don't have the systems and the physics going on that these do.
Yeah.
Not even close.
It's funny because
not even...
Breath of the Wild just bored me to tears. Like, I bought it and I was like, oh.
You have to get through the first 15 hours, and then you can
I'm not
just
going to
have
spend
fun.
15 hours waiting for the good bit.
John,
That's
you've got a good PC. You can run it at 4K. You can run it at 60. You can mod it, so you don't have to ever worry about any of that stuff, and it's a very fun game.
Maybe one day, but
I don't like saying all this stuff.
I know
because I love Zelda games and I love Nintendo's games, but this is all stuff people don't want to say. Because for whatever reason, you can't say this stuff about Nintendo.
One outlet did. Well, I saw 1 6 out of 10.
And I defended that guy. I'm like, I can see why someone would find this a 6 out of 10. And it's not like he gave it a 4. Like,
yeah,
if you're using the full 10-point scale, 6 is okay. 6 is okay. It's okay game.
Above average.
That's one thing I've noticed.
See,
OpenCritic, late reviews for this one, and late, I mean the people who probably emulated it or maybe didn't get a code from Nintendo, and we're waiting to see when reviews went up, but the later ones coming in on this are mostly 10, and the later ones on Redfall, like the ones that are still hitting every day, are like 2, 3, maybe 4. So it's just, it's this dog pile mentality where Well, this is reviewing unbelievably well. I'm giving it a better score. This is reviewing shit. I'm getting in on that and giving it a terrible score. And that's the side of reviewing that I freaking hate.
Yeah. That's why. Remember how I was talking about how we set the tone for Hi-Fi Rush?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I wasn't joking.
Well, we did get included on their marketing for that, so they were grateful, I guess.
If our review had been like a 6 out of 10 for Hi-Fi Rush, tell you now, a lot of those late reviews knock them down a few points. I actually appreciated that guy had the balls to give it a 6 out of 10. I don't agree it's a 6 out of 10, but I appreciate that he had the balls to call it that way. Like I can see why someone would play this game and be like,
It's funny. I saw someone pretty prominent in the industry. I'm not going to name them because I don't want them getting badgered on Twitter, but they posted something along the lines of, hey, I think maybe if review outlets are going to review Zelda games, don't give it to people that love Zelda.
Yeah.
Because and I would say the same thing for I'm gonna do myself dirty, right? I have a weakness for Halo, always have.
Yep.
Right. And I'm glad I didn't have to review the Halo game, Halo Infinite. Because and I have to be honest with myself, right? I can look and play at Breath of the Wild, and I put like 8 hours into it. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I'm just bored. Comparatively, I played something like you mentioned Ubisoft games earlier on. I played Phoenix Immortals Rising, which is very much a Zelda-ish clone, right?
Yes.
I loved it. Absolutely loved it, right? And I don't know, my weapons didn't break, which obviously helped me. That's a big bugbear for me.
Hold on. I can tell you why you liked one. I can tell you why you liked one and not the other. I already know why. Because Immortals Phoenix Rising doesn't ask you to create your own fun.
It gives you a nice guided path.
Yes. Immortals Phoenix Rising, which I still have to go back to that game too. Immortals Phoenix Rising is, here's where you need to get to. Yeah, if you want to do these little side things where you just kill a bunch of guys, because that's all it is. It's very simple, kill this group of enemies.
Yeah.
Where Breath of the Wild, it asks you, a lot of the time, it's asking you to create your own fun.
Go figure it out yourself. Yeah, that's a fair point. But, I can objectively look at it and say I can understand why people like these things, right? But I saw someone obviously call that out on Twitter, and I'm like, but if I was to play Halo straight off the bat, brand new Halo game, oh my God, yeah, I love Halo. Oh. It would color my objective view. And, when I look back at Halo Infinite, I'm like, I liked it. I really enjoyed it all the way through. And I know other people are like, and there's still lots of little things where I'm like, after that long a wait, I missed that big Halo 3 moment. That was 2007. Where was that? And all of those little things. And it might not have been the design goals. Obviously, we all know Halo Infinite had a somewhat turbulent development. But yeah, I think that call out from that guy on Twitter about giving, I understand giving games of certain genres to people experienced in those genres. But when you are a straight up, I'm a fanboy for Zelda, give me the new Zelda game to review.
Here's the funny thing. I'm a fanboy for Zelda, and I would have given this game.
Not everyone can detach themselves.
Reviews come down to, can you be objective about the game? Obviously, it's going to have your subjective takes on how you enjoyed the experience, all these things.
Yeah.
But that's why my goal for us as a site, and we're going to be working on a review Bible of guidelines, is always make sure people understand what the game is as objectively as you can. And then you're going to give your subjective stuff alongside that. And then because everyone wants them, we do a score at the end. And I hate scores personally. I don't like doing them. Every score that everyone gives is essentially pulled straight out of their ass. It's not based on anything other than just a random feeling at the time of, well, I guess I give it this, pretty much. Scores are stupid. They've always been that. It should be more, our hardware reviews are a recommendation. Well, how would I recommend this to
gave
you?
in.
Yeah.
Eurogamer gave in and went back to scores.
Man, it cracked me up to see Eurogamer give in.
Mm-hmm.
Cracked me up. Because they were all like, we don't want to participate in the carnage of review scores anymore, ladies and gentlemen. And then they've obviously realised, oh wait, shit, when people give 5 out of 5s or 2 out of 10s, no one's reading them because they're all artsy fartsy.
Well, you don't get clicks. You don't get listed everywhere with a score that then, oh, I'm going to click on this because they gave it this score type of thing. And you're not showcased in advertising or on OpenCritic or Metacritic. You're not a part of that score anymore. So maybe the companies don't care about giving you stuff that much. Like, we are, full disclosure, we're not top critics on OpenCritic, and we're trying to figure out how you become that, because it is so important to publishers, because that's one big number that they can show off. It's actually even better for them now than Metacritic is, because Metacritic gets broken up on multi-platform games. They like that one big score they can show off. Like, it drives the industry essentially half the time.
It's a tricky discussion though, because sometimes you should have someone who's into a genre review it.
Yep, absolutely. But I think there's a difference between into a genre and into a specific IP.
Yeah,
you can't always do everything.
I have kind of become the fighting guy reviewer on XboxEra. I reviewed Sam's show. I reviewed JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Streets of Rage 4. I'm also going to be reviewing Street Fighter 6.
Now, would you describe yourself as a Street Fighter fanboy?
Yeah.
Right.
But that doesn't mean...
No. That's the difference, right? Not everyone can remove their feelings towards the IP and their personal history with it.
I still go on about Street Fighter 5 being money-headed. It bothered me that much. I am a Street Fighter fanboy. But, for example, I've already got a bit of a hot take with Street Fighter 6. Just based on the demos and the betas and everything that I've been in. Street Fighter's visuals, for example, I'm not sure where I sit on them.
Yeah.
Because Capcom's now using RE Engine instead of using Unreal Engine for Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 has this weird visual style that it's... So, Street Fighter 4 had that cool, chunky, cartoony look to it. Street Fighter 5 was an evolved version of Street Fighter 4's art style, and I really liked how Street Fighter 5 looked visually.
Yeah.
And then Street Fighter 6 is this weird, confused, do we want to evolve Street Fighter 5 or do we want to look realistic? And it's somewhere in between. I actually think I prefer how Street Fighter 5 looks visually to Street Fighter 6 already. And I know that that's going to be considered a very hot take because everyone's going on about Street Fighter 6. I'm fully expecting Street Fighter 6 to be up there in Metacritic. It could crack 90, I reckon.
Wow.
Which for a fighting game, it's just the vibe I get. But it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to review Street Fighter 6.
Wow,
very interesting.
There you go. Cool. Okay, so Tears of the Kingdom, not too bad, not as great as you.
It's a very good game.
It's very, very good. If you just like me in Crackdown 1 and 2, if you loved Breath of the Wild, you will have no reason not to love Tears of the Kingdom. It is more of the same, and I'm not trying to say that in a derogatory way, but it is. It's Breath of the Wild 2. It's not. Most Zeldas, anyone who's played all the Zelda games will know that
it's always a new take, a new place.
Yes, almost every single Zelda game is very, very different to the previous one. This is the first time that they've basically just said, no,
an iterative sequel.
This is just a sequel to the last one. They're very, very different. Zelda 2 was 2D side-scrolling compared to Zelda 1's top-down. And then the next, every Zelda has been... Skyward Sword was very different to Twilight Princess, which was different to Wind Waker, which was... They're all very, very different. This is Breath of the Wild 2. For better or worse, this is Breath of the Wild 2. And I don't think Nintendo's ever done that before with a Zelda game. I don't think.
Yeah, they haven't. Eurogamer called it out in their review, which they gave them 4 out of 5. They were like, we kind of liked it. They shackled off. They got rid of everything they'd done previously. It was always a fresh take on saving Princess Zelda, etc., etc.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It is very good.
Jesse's been streaming Tears of the Kingdom, but that's not the only game you've been streaming. You've been playing some other things this week,
I
right?
have. We got a random email out of nowhere. I had asked for it, but I had no idea it was coming. But then all of a sudden, Lego 2K Drive showed up, and it is Forza Horizon meets Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. It's gorgeous, and holy shit, is it fun. I am really enjoying it.
Nice.
I do want to play this.
It is very much like, so it's pretty much, you've got your land version, your off-road version, and your boat version of your vehicle that you'll swap between on the fly automatically. It's an open world with a bunch of, like, there's quests and there's challenges and then there's races and there's just tons of different stuff to do. It's got a huge focus on drifting. Drifting builds up your boost meter, then A to boost. You've got a ton of weapons that don't feel
like Mario
too
Kart.
powerful. Yeah. So it's really goddamn good. It is $70 on the new consoles. They gave us the $120 version mode that just has like different cars. It's got microtransactions built into it. So those are pretty much,
it's Lego. I'm not surprised.
the microtransactions appear to be coins that you can then convert into the game's currency. That currency just gets you unlocks faster. So it's pretty much, it's not pay to win. It's pay to not skip as much time. Pay to avoid
progress.
Grinding. So, and it's just to buy different looks and stuff. It's not, anything game breaking. It's super fun.
That's not
too
terrible.
And it looks fantastic on like natively. It's only 1080p on this stream, but because I don't run things at the full res. But even then,
but the Lego really games have always been good looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think recently
Lego games.
This feels like the
really
old Lego games. Like this feels like the old ones too. Like those old weird PC. It feels weird, but really well made. But it's got that. You just run over everyone and they go flying, and you blow up everyone's car, and it's all just a laugh, and it's very out there. Does not take itself serious.
When does this come out? When does this come out retail?
This releases, I believe, on Tuesday for the more expensive editions. Also, you can completely build a car from Lego. You can build every piece. You can paint every piece individually. Cool. Like it's crazy. It is about Lego more than those like.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
That's
great.
Cool.
No, it runs at a really nice resolution. Feels like a locked 60. I wouldn't be surprised if this ran even better on like freaking PC, just running at some ridiculous frame rate, because it's nothing. The scope of it isn't huge. It is very Lego. The textures are nice, but they're not crazy. But I think it looks great, and it's really fun to play. It's nice. Gas, accelerator, but then the different thing is X is your quick turn button, so you just turn
like
on
a
a dime.
handbrake.
Yeah, but the
wow,
super
okay.
handbrake, like you just immediately go. And so it makes open world exploration a hell of a lot easier in a car, because you don't have to like circle around and try and do donuts to turn quickly.
That's a clever.
And Y is a jump. So if you see me going unbelievably high all the time, it's because you can just pretty much jump. Even if you're midair, you can double jump to get to certain things.
Wow.
It's just
okay. Yeah,
fun.
I'm gonna have to pick this up and play this with my kids. It looks great.
It looks cool.
It's great.
And does it auto transform vehicles?
It auto transforms. You see how beat up I am in this clip.
Yeah.
So as you get attacked in
That's
races,
cool.
you lose Lego pieces, and to get them back, you've got to crash through the environment. You got to crash through trees and fences and stuff, and take their bricks to rebuild your car automatically. Like everything's automatic, but it's very it's really
cool.
fun. It's gonna come down to
it still has the dumbest name. Remember how we revealed the name?
Yeah.
Lego 2K Drive, and we were just like, "That's."
I'm surprised 2K didn't get cross with us about that, but.
Maybe it's good they don't watch us.
Yeah.
It's real goofy. It's I don't know how big it is. It seems like there's 3 main areas, and you're going to be going through them a bunch. I'm like 2 or 3 hours in. I feel like I've gone from, so they do it by licenses. I've gone from license C to license B, and then there's A and the last one.
S.
Yeah.
And
then there's like a sky race you're working towards, and you gotta beat each area to get 3 medals that let you get into the sky race. And then it's just got the online mode with full crossplay. So you have to log in with a 2K account, but then everyone can play together in matchmaking and it's there's hardly anyone playing now because it's only for reviewers, but we'll have a review from Gyotso Baki, aka Fairy Empire, very soon, because there's no embargo, which is why I can talk about and play it. It's very weird. No embargo.
Yeah, it's very confident of the publisher, which is unusual in this day and age, shall we say? So yeah, it seems like a solid Lego game, and I'm I think I reviewed the last two non Traveler's Tales ones. I did Brick Tales and whatever the other one was, and I really enjoyed them. But this is completely
Master
different.
Builder. What that one?
Yeah, like I think it was Brick Tales and Lego Journey. Master Builder thingy, but they were both beautiful, but more about like little platformy things. All right, yeah, we've done the Tears of the Kingdom bit. Come on, let's move on.
It's on a Hylian shield.
No one cares.
I've been playing Planet of Lana.
Oh, really?
A game we can't.
Yeah, but I can't talk about it. I can't give you any impressions. So there's a short conversation, but I'm going to talk about something that is mind blowing. That's really, really great, and I'm loving it. And you're going to tell me, Nick, that I was right. And if Jesse wants to, he can pull up the video of this. So I updated a few things at home, sold some parts of my PC, got myself some upgrades. Right, got myself some new gear, and I'm rocking some nice new hardware down here. But the best thing that I've done is I finally went out and I got myself a 45-inch 21:9 OLED screen, 240 hertz. Oh
wow!
My friends, feel free to put the YouTube video up. It bends. So when I'm it's nuts. When I'm working, it's flat, and I can do my spreadsheets and my emails and stuff. When I want to go in a game mode, there's two handles. They pop out the side. It's called the Xenon Flex. And you literally just and you just fucking bend the monitor, man.
Oh wow.
And it bends to a curve of 800R, and it is insane. Like the depth color, I loaded up Ori and the Will of the Wisps just to see. It let me super sample the game to 6K running at 240 FPS. Holy shit. I was like, this is good. This is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So
Flex. I'd never even heard of this thing.
It's very cool. It's not the LG. It's called the Xenon. So it's slightly different, but it is an LG panel. But it's made by Corsair.
Okay. So it's the same thing pretty much.
Yeah. It's made by Corsair. It's got G-Sync. It's got AMD FreeSync. The only downside is it hasn't got height adjustment, so you're stuck with what it is. But it's got full tilt and all of this jazz. It's very, very snazzy. And like people have said to me, "Oh, once you go OLED, I'm converted." Like,
it's hard to go back.
God damn,
it's very hard.
It's incredible. I look at this 4K TV behind me, which is also an LG panel. I'm like, yeah. So,
pretty much all my devices have OLED screens now. Like I think the MacBook does, my Switch does, I think my phone does. I don't even know, but that TV behind me is OLED.
Yeah, oh man, it's night and day game changer. I've been playing. I downloaded a bunch of stuff like. So what else did I try? I tried. I played Planet of Lana on it. I can't really tell you about that. Halo Infinite. My God, loaded that up. I can super sample it to like 150% the native res of full 1440p. Still get max 120 FPS. Everything at ultra. It's got all the RTX shadows on it. It's the best the game's ever looked. I was just like, this is great. This is literally great. So I'm having a fun week after what was a somewhat scary week of hey, we're gonna fire people, and unfortunately lots of my colleagues in the industry that I work with did not have a great end to their week, and it really bums me out. The tech industry is doing what it's doing. I was lucky to not be hit, but there was a small part of me, I'll be honest, there was a very, very small part of me that was kind of sad that I didn't get kicked off. For the very simple reason, I know that sounds weird, but like XboxEra, our chat, the folks that are here watching in the chat, our patrons, everyone that supports us, we all want to do this full-time as a full-time thing, as a full-time gig. Yes. And there was a part of me that was like, if I get shoved, I'm just going to have to somehow make it happen. where you're living in the fear, and the fear makes you just get shit done. So there was one point where it was like, oh damn, I'm not in the fear anymore. I can carry on. So yeah, but at the end of the day, mortgage, 2 kids. Kind of glad I'm not in that position.
Probably
really.
for the best.
Yeah, probably for the best. So yeah, there we go. That's what we've been playing. Chat, if you're here, you're watching. There's 200 or so people watching right now. Do me a favor, smash that like button. It really does help us out. Like genuinely, just it's a click of a thumb, the roll of a mouse wheel, whatever the case may be. But more importantly than that, we do need to check in and make sure that Nick has had his breakfast.
Yeah, I have been. As you see throughout the whole episode, basically, as soon as the episode started, I've been taking sips from it because, man, I was very hungry. Yes, so make sure if you want some of this stuff too. Even Rand got some as well.
Rand's on board.
Yeah,
but let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Yeah,
it's Control.
Rand was in the chat.
The XboxEra podcast is powered by Control. Control is a meal replacement and functional foods business whose mission is to improve the lifestyles of gamers and content creators by making them healthier. Their meal replacement shakes and meal on the go bars are the best tasting products in their category while also giving you all the protein, vitamins, minerals, and other nutrients you need to keep you going. Check out drinkcontrol.com and try out the sample kits to see what all the hype is about.
Yeah, so make sure drinkcontrol.com/XboxEra, use our code, get 10% off. Rand finally caved and got the sample pack. I think so far he's only tried the chocolate one so far. He goes, it's all right. But that's the only one he's tried. I go, does the sample pack come with Fruity Flakes, which is what I have? I've got the Fruity Flakes one.
My God, Gary Barwick, you're a maniac. I love you.
7 more packs last week, Gary Barwick, keeping the entire XboxEra Control partnership alive.
It tastes so nice though. Like it's so nice. It's like
it's actually
try all
it's
the
good
flavors
for baking too. Like if you do pancakes, you do stuff like that.
I made the pancakes yesterday. I put a scoop
good.
in my pancake mix yesterday. We actually didn't go out for breakfast for the first time in a while yesterday, so I just made the pancakes at home, put a scoop of Control in them, and man, the Fruity Flakes just makes it taste so nice. You got to try them all to see what sits best with you. I haven't come across a flavor that I didn't like. I just have ones I prefer. Cinnamon toast is pretty good. Birthday cake is nice. But man, I just keep coming back to Fruity Flakes.
I'm still ashamed.
Nice.
I'm ashamed that I haven't yet got on the bandwagon. And do you know what's really funny is I'm on a diet because middle age is approaching. It's my birthday next week, so next Friday. So Saturday night's going to be like the birthday show. It's my birthday. I'm turning 39.
You're actually going to show up for it, not just take it off.
I'm actually going to show up. I'm not. Yeah, I'm going to be there.
Mother's Day. I'm here. Like my wife's not going to be happy with me at all, but here I am
celebrating. But getting a little bit more rotund than one would like. So last 2 or 3 days, I've cut everything snacky, like anything carby and snacky. And man, it's amazing how much that stuff just completely messes with your diet. It's all great when you're all comfortable and happy, and you just I'll have that chocolate, or I'll have that sweet, or I'll have that ice cream, or whatever. And I'll just cut it all, and I've already lost like 4 pounds in 2 days, just like shumph. So hopefully I can get back.
Just
to
little changes, drinking more water, try and have your dinner before 6 p.m.
Every time I go to because it's like an autopilot thing, I go to the cupboard. If I open the cupboard and realize I'm literally just grazing, I close it and I just have I just down a pint of water, and I'm just like, right, okay, stomach's full. Just back away, keep moving. But there you go.
Or have some Control.
Well, maybe that's what I need to try out, right? Because it's got some sweetness to it. Might
replace a meal with that.
Stop brushing your teeth with pudding.
Yeah, that too.
Brush them with Control.
No.
Very healthy. Very healthy. All right. Well, outside of what we've been playing, which, funnily enough, thanks to the Tears of the Kingdom segment, took 45 minutes of the show.
I went for 40
minutes. I didn't even talk about most of what I'm playing. That's a dangerous thing. If I'm on here and talking about what we've been playing, is
you got to keep quiet. Sometimes
I got to keep it to a few. Like I played Ravenlock. It's fun. It's a nice little kids game.
I've played some Ravenlock. Yeah, it's pretty. I
still want to know how you got Planet of Lana.
I got 2 review codes. I gave one to Harmonica and one to John.
Because we're doing the review. I'm doing the video review. It's a Steam code as well, dude. So, you wouldn't have been able to utilize...
Until I get a certain device.
It's coming to Game Pass. You're going to get the game. It's not like you're going to play it soon.
He's talking about the ROG Ally, which is a great segue into this section. Great segue.
Once I get a ROG Ally, I'll be able to take those Steam codes.
If it comes to Australia.
No, it will. Republic of Gamers sells shit down here. So I'm sure...
read many of the reviews, and I don't think too many people were particularly hot on it.
I've read some mixed things about it.
Some of the reviews I read were extremely anti-Windows, and people just like Steam OS, and they're used to Steam, and so even though
Steam sucks,
it's the thing. It's this weird thing. I'll never get it. I actually have had a much easier time with the Windows Store lately than I ever have with Steam. I've had a better time with Epic Games Store than I have with Steam, but
sucks. Steam has always sucked. Always. I never. Is it just because they were first and they became the
people? People are used to it. It's that they are used to it.
Yeah, it's that market leader momentum bullshit that happens in the console space as well. Like, and every time I use Steam, I'm just like, I hate this.
Do you know what?
This is crap.
I think the reason lots of folk really like Steam is because the UI, yes, they've got big picture mode and they've invested a lot, and primarily that's how you're interacting with Steam on your Steam Deck, right? But it's very quick, it's pretty lightweight, and obviously I reinstalled everything, and I was like, oh, I'm going to install the Halo Infinite multiplayer. I installed Half-Life Alyx. I got my Quest back up and running, just trying different things out. But it is very I'm logged in, I click, it installs it. There's no stress. I don't have to worry about anything breaking. It just does what it says on the tin with very, very little fuss. It's not the prettiest. It's kind of ugly. It's got, 15 years of bloat behind it in terms of its design, but it just works, and there's no fuss with that. And I think that's why people like Steam a lot. But the problem you've got with the ROG Ally is Steam, Linux developers, I've got 9,000 games. And for those kinds of PC games that need trackpads or need X, Y, and Z, the Steam Deck supports that. Whereas the ROG Ally, I saw
it's a Windows PC.
Well, I saw a Jeff Rubenstein, Xbox PR lead review on Xbox Wire, and it was very much like, what's the tagline he used? This is Game Pass portable. And I'm like, yeah, because the majority of those games are just going to be a simple controller. There's no mouse and keyboard.
There's a lot of RTSs and stuff that are not built
that support a controller now. Yeah. But there's not, compared to the legacy of games that can run on a Steam Deck from across the history of PC gaming, that's why you see so much love and nostalgia for Steam, I think, comparatively. Because
the ROG Ally can run everything.
It can run everything, but you'd have to plug a mouse and keyboard in. It's only got a gamepad, whereas the Steam Deck's got the trackpads, right? So you can emulate, but that's the difference.
As long as this thing can run Fortnite and Rocket League at 1080 120 for me, then I have my device.
You get a solid
Everything else is a bonus.
And that's
everything else is a bonus.
Very short battery life. Do you want to play for 45 minutes and that's it?
You're just gonna walk around with a giant battery back on there, and
on the go. I don't need it to last more. I don't need it to last more than a couple of hours on the go.
Yeah.
You can get more if you sacrifice some performance. If you lock it to say 40 to 60 and you run it lower res and use your super sampling and get it up, you can get more than that. It's just when you are pushing it all the way in its turbo mode to actually take advantage of that 120 hertz screen on anything newer, then you're not going to get a lot of battery life.
Isn't it funny, though, how the ROG Ally basically flies in the face of everyone that was like, you can't have a Series S portable. It's not possible. What do you mean? The ROG Ally is literally using an AMD APU, a la the one that's in consoles.
It's the power
8.6
target.
teraflops. 8.6 teraflops.
It can't run at that very well.
Okay, but the Series S is only 4. It's half.
It's the power. It's It's not
Yeah,
the same
they
because
actually
it's
have-
the amount of power you use, which is still double what the
I
Ally
know,
can do.
but you can't tell me that the Ally doesn't give an idea of the fact that a Series S portable is completely and utterly
It's
possible.
getting close to it. It's just, it just comes down to getting their power consumption down to the point where it makes sense in a handheld, which will probably take a couple years to get there nanometer wise and all that. So
the ROG Ally, you can adjust the TPW
TDP.
TDP, yeah, like the amount of watts it's putting down from like 45 to like 12 or something like that. It's not simple fact is the higher you have it, it just eats your battery because it's pushing that chipset to do more.
I'll have it plugged in most of the time. I'll have it docked the majority of the time.
The coolest thing about it is it's cooling. Like it's so quiet. It keeps everything really cool. Steam Deck keeps everything pretty cool, but the Steam Deck's very loud, and especially that initial whine from the fan. But like the Ally, you don't even hear it. So you can use it, and like a lot of people are like, I use my Steam Deck and I have headphones on because this mother jumper gets really loud, and you don't have to do that with the Ally. I'll
look forward to MVG's video on the ROG Ally where he runs all the emulators on it, because that thing.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure the ROG Ally will do everything up to and including PlayStation 3 and 360, and it's like, whoa.
I'm sure they'll love that, all those platform holders.
Oh, mate.
They're going to have a fun
I'm sorry, but
time.
that ROG Ally, that is going to be an emulator's dream machine.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. And if they can get, like, what'll happen is you'll have someone like an ETA Prime or someone like that who's probably running, like, Launchbox or whatever. But if they can find a way to trick the... What's it called? What's that proprietary software that Asus has on it? That
Armory
Vault,
Crate?
What's it called?
Oh,
Armory
God,
Crate, not Vault. The Armory Crate thing. If they can somehow trick the Armory Crate into acknowledging the emulators as individual games, so it all becomes part of that UI, oh, man, that... Or if Windows handheld mode can hurry up and get here, or
I think what they really should focus on, if they're gonna do, if there's a world where they might even consider the Series S portable, I think the reality would be, and keep me honest, chat, if there's any people smarter than me out there, the reality would be is it wouldn't be the case that developers would have to do nothing and Series S games would just work. There would be, like they had to back compat in Xbox One X. It supports it kind of thing. There'll be a Series SP mode where you can do your game code and it drops certain features and yada, yada, yada. But I
still don't know if I agree on that.
I think it's just how it would have to be to be.
I don't think they would ever want to, because if the PlayStation 5 refresh is real and a Series XXX comes out, making people have to code for 4 ways.
Oh, it's going to be brutal. That's what I mean.
The only way it works is if it is just a Series S.
But primarily,
that's right.
It would be
it needs to just be a straight up Series S.
It would be an Xbox operating system. It wouldn't be Windows handheld. It would just
no. It'd be the Xbox OS. It's an Xbox. It would be an Xbox squeezed into a handheld.
I'd love it. I'd love it. Don't get me wrong, but I would be like jaw to the floor if they announced something like that in the next couple of years. I'd be like, yep, that's an insta buy. But
I'd sell the Series S's that I have for the kids and buy them each the portable straight away.
I mean, I'd keep the Series S for the boy.
What's the point? What would be the point?
Sometimes it's nice to chill and sit in front of a big screen and enjoy the.
So you dock the Series S portable that's sitting in your hands, and there's your Series S. What the hell are you talking about, bro?
Yeah, Van. I don't think it's ever going to be that.
The Series S becomes. The only thing that would keep the Series S relevant in terms of why would you still bother selling it is the price. That's it. So if someone doesn't want the portability that would cost extra, then someone might still buy the Series S. Otherwise, it's the most pointless device on earth once the portable version comes out.
Yeah.
But the ROG Ally, oh man, as long as it's doing my Fortnite at least 1080-60 like I want it to, and it's doing all the emulation stuff, oh boy.
You're a happy man.
Oh man, and I think I should be able to get it for under $1,000 Australian, which is really good.
Not
really,
bad.
Really good.
But it's all sold out at the moment. I take it. Did you get one on pre-order or no?
They haven't Australian pre-orders aren't there yet.
Oh, okay.
Australian
pre-orders. I know it's sold out everywhere else, so clearly there's some appetite for it.
Yeah.
See how it develops.
Like I said, I'm very interested to watch MVG's video. It's a shame he's probably not watching us right now, and I wish he would. But I'd be very, because I'm assuming he'll get one. Like, they'd be silly not to send him one for him, and he'll put it through its paces. Like, he'll just run every emulator on it.
He will.
He'll do the whole lot on it, and yeah, I'd be very interested to see Dim's video on the ROG Ally. Also, I mean, I'm not. What?
I was just saying, I've been trying real hard to get an ASUS press contact, so because I think it would actually be really cool to have that be a part of our reviews for pretty much like any Game Pass PC game moving forward, first party or third party. If it's on Game Pass PC, put it through its test, its paces on that as part of a review. But I haven't heard back anything. So if anyone out there knows any good ASUS PR contacts, hit me up.
Salva in the chat. I don't think the price is going to be $1,000, although it could be. I get staff price at JB, so that's why I said I should be able to get it under $1,000. Because, for example, gaming laptops, man, I get so much off those.
Really?
Like when I bought my Alienware years ago, man, I got so much money off that thing buying at staff price. So I assume the ROG Ally will be similar. I reckon the Aussie price. So what was it? Was it $599 and $699?
Yeah.
But you can't buy the cheap version yet. You can only buy the expensive one.
But why would you buy the cheap one for an extra $100 with how much
pointless.
Improved performance there is in that higher end one? Why wouldn't you just pay the extra $100? Like, it seems silly. So $699. So the PlayStation 5 is $499
$549
US.
They call it
US.
$499. You can't ever find it $499. It's pretty much always bundled to $549. But yeah, so they upped it everywhere except the US. But in the US, you really can only find it bundled.
So that translates here. The $499 translated here to $750. So if this is $699, be about $1,000, just over $1,000. So I should be able to get this thing for quite a reasonable price. So I'm very excited, but I might give it a bit because, I mean, a lot of the reviews I've read, we were talking about this before, a lot of them were worded in a way, you know how sometimes you can tell someone's tone, you could, I don't know, maybe it's a me thing, I don't know, but you can sometimes really detect the undertones in what people are saying. Even if it reads perfectly fine, you read the whole thing and then you're like, hold on, you were secretly shitting all over this, weren't you? Like, I know your words aren't saying that, but, and with a lot of the ROG Ally stuff I've read, there's a lot of, we want to hate this thing because we love Gabe's sentiment about what I was reading. There was just a very subtle, we're looking forward to hating this thing when we finally get it in our hands about it. Yeah. I don't know. So I might wait a little bit, let a few of the big boys get a hold of it, muck around with it, put it through its paces and see how it goes. Because isn't it funny, all around the same time this thing got announced, revealed, all of a sudden we're seeing all these articles pop up about ASUS being dodgy, and I'm like, hold on, what's the timing on all this stuff now? Like,
ASUS is pretty dodgy.
Oh, I'm not saying they're not. I'm not into PC gaming to know one way or the other. I had never heard anything about ASUS being dodgy, and then all of a sudden the ROG Ally, this Steam competitor, comes along, and a real Steam competitor, and all of a sudden ASUS is dodgy is everywhere, and I'm just like,
the motherboard thing had been going on.
Console gamer.
The motherboard thing had been going on for like a couple weeks. It's not. It's a thing that's just happened with them, and they're overvolting things and blowing up CPUs.
Yeah, that's what I was reading up about. They were overvolting stuff.
It's just because like their engineers are figuring out why it's happening, fixing it, but then their PR just started talking. Then legal got to them and said, "No, don't talk. We don't want to be liable for anything." And then
it wasn't just that; they put out a BIOS update which voids the warranty.
That's their normal. So that's their normal. That's their normal wording for any beta BIOS update. They've taken it out since then. But it's one of those things where they were just doing everything so fast to try and fix it that they didn't bother changing it, thinking about the PR aspect of it. But they've taken it out now.
Yeah, I mean, I've used plenty of ASUS motherboards.
It's the Western side of things trying to do stuff, but then it's all set, like all the actual the way they run things ends up being decided by the Taiwan part that actually owns and runs the company. So having to translate all that, having to wait, they're always waiting on what Taiwan tells them to do. So in the end, their PR gets hit real bad because they don't react fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what you guys just reminded me of, though? Like, talking about all this, like, ordering it, it's not available in Australia yet. I wanted to pick up the Halo Infinite Razer Extra Large Goliathus mouse mat, and it's just not for sale here in the UK. Like, it's only 50 quid, right? Or something like that. But the closest I could find was like 120 new on eBay. Like, you cannot buy it direct from Razer here in the UK. So if anyone, it's my birthday next week, I'm going to do a special Nick. If anyone knows where they can get one of these and want to send it my way, hit me up. I really want to get hold of one. I'll happily forward you some pennies because I've got a very naked mouse right now. It needs a mouse mat. Giggity. Okay. What else has been going on? EA.
Not much.
EA is Microsoft's biggest third-party publisher, apparently.
Was that as part of the discussion of ABK? And they were like, weren't they being asked about ABK or something? Or
it was during their investor call for their financial results.
And they were like, well, we don't care. We're the biggest third-party publisher on Xbox anyway. And I was like, okay,
interestingly,
that's interesting.
I mean, it's not in the name things, but as you brought up ABK, Reuters and Bloomberg both reported from sources inside the EU Commission
the EU.
that the deal's gonna pass in Europe.
Gonna get blocked. It's gonna get blocked.
I mean,
it's not
the only difference is
just be like Elsa.
Let it go.
Just be like Elsa, man. Just be like Elsa. Everyone needs to be like Elsa.
It doesn't matter if we let it go because Microsoft will not, because they want to buy them and they want to buy more. And if they let it go, they understand that they're probably not getting much of anything for a long while.
Yeah, and I guess there's been a lot of discussion, since the ABK got blocked by the UK. There's lots of talk out there. Oh, well, if the EU approves it, what does that mean? And people have been spitballing. Oh, will they just stop doing business in the UK? No. Will they just cut cloud?
They could just pull xCloud from the UK.
CMA won't care about that. They want to be a global player. The only realistic shot this has.
What do you mean? I don't understand. They want to be a global player. Who gives them the authority to
speak
on behalf of the rest of the
world? If the entire globe says yes, then they're just telling everyone else, well, no, you're wrong.
Stupid.
We'll take care of you.
Exactly. It is stupid. I'm not defending them.
Oh, the CMA's got all this power. Do they? So why did it go through all these other regulators if apparently the CMA controls the whole fucking planet? Where did this idea that the CMA runs the world come from? It is
colonialism.
Colonialism. And I don't actually believe it's a real thing. I don't actually believe that's a real thing.
And I have to point out, John, you say Reuters, and they say their name is
Reuters.
Reuters.
Yeah, I know. We've had this conversation before.
I've always said Reuters.
It's a stupid word.
It is
it's
Reuters.
A stupid made-up word.
Anyway, Reuters.
Like the CMA is what the CMA is. Interestingly, there was our Prime Minister, Mr. Sunak.
I like how you quoted
made
Prime
some
Minister.
speech about I didn't vote for him. Made some speech about how they want to steer development in Britain, and it had some tones to it that kind of suggested, maybe they need to rein it in a bit. No one knows what's going to happen, but it's got to go through this stupid regulatory process now back to this appeals thing. And the nutshell is it doesn't go to this judge and this judge looks at the evidence and goes, let it pass. It just gets reviewed and goes back to the CMA.
They can say that if they determine that they were irrational, which is why Microsoft used that wording. The irrational means the cat can just say, nope, it can go through with this. If they determine that the CMA was acting irrationally.
But it is irrational. But this, I doubt cat is like, it's all the UK ultimately. So they're all... Yeah.
And that's the thing. You're going to, if you've been doing that for reviewing it for a year, the whole world has said yes.
Yeah.
And then you're going to sit there and go, no, still no. I was right.
No. The cloud. Those 15 people that are on the cloud, they're going to be affected.
5,000.
All those 15 cloud users.
Oh, 5,000.
There has been some interesting stuff though with Amazon and Luna and announcing their figures and things like that.
Fortnite, which goes to everyone,
and they're like way bigger than Microsoft.
Yeah, if you've got Prime, that means it technically is 18 million people that would have
so
it.
stupid.
Going by the CMA's own logic, then it's 18 million.
But there is no logic. They've been protecting Sony from day one. When are people going to realize this? They told you from the start. The CMA said from the start. But what about PlayStation? They already told you what their plan was, and yet we're all sitting there for the last year talking like idiots, round and round in circles. Oh, it's irrational. Oh, it's illogical. Of course it is, because they're not doing it for rational reasons. They're doing it to protect the market leader because their buddy is from the UK who runs it all. But like it's not rational.
There's been a lot of conversation now about, well, okay, it gets blocked. Microsoft could surely, and I've seen big YouTubers and Twitter personalities and gaming pundits just use 69 billion and just blow them out of the water. And people need to understand something very, very simple here is Microsoft were on the wrong side of regulators for quite a few years, particularly in the 90s and the early noughties, right? They had their wrist slapped and they play ball. That's what they're trying to do now. And they can't live in a world. And this is a big answer to the question of why do Sony money hat so much and Microsoft don't seem to? Why don't they seem to do it? And it's because they would be effectively enabling monopolistic behavior on their part by using money from Azure and from Windows and from Office to fund and win the market in that fashion. That gets them straight up in the naughty books with the regulators. And it's primarily why they just can't fucking compete in that way. So they're trying to compete in a different way. They're taking their investment and buying the IP. They don't have to money hat. They're not paying to block a competitor, but they're paying to own the intellectual property. And that's the key difference. And a lot of people just feel like, why can't they just chuck money at it and money hat all these things? It's never going to work like that for Microsoft, ever. Not to the degree that Sony can get away with it. Because they are under completely different scrutiny from a regulatory point of view due to the company's size than Sony ever will be. So it's an interesting one, but anyone out there thinking that, they'll have 69 billion, Satya's just going to sign a blank check to money hat a shit ton of games. It is never going to happen in that way. Microsoft can't behave like that. They're under a whole different set of rules due to their past and due to their size.
You saw it with Teams, where a couple years ago, Slack is like, Teams is nothing.
Don't worry about Teams.
They don't give a shit. They're not competing with us. 2 years later, he goes crying to the government that they cannot put Teams into Office 365. It will kill us. It's unfair, please. And Microsoft's like, okay, fine. They don't get the choice because they were shitheads real bad in the 90s and early 2000s, and for a very long time, they are always under a completely different microscope than pretty much anyone else.
It's just the size of their reach, right? The Windows OS, it's the default OS, so you can control what people can see. Man, like I switched to Edge this week, right? I switched to Edge, binned off Chrome. From Chrome.
You've been on Chrome all this time?
Yeah, everything worked, but it was such a blow. It crashed so much. Switched to Edge, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so much better.
Edge is amazing. Edge is so much better.
My God, it's like when I did download Chrome to do some separate bits, right? So like separate profiles and things like that. It was like, you want to have this? And no, are you sure you want to download Chrome? This is the best. And I'm just like, okay, Microsoft, like I get it. But they have to be very careful in how
Edge
they behave.
is so much better than Chrome. It is so much better. And it's not spying on you in the same way Chrome is.
No, I've been very, very impressed with the performance of Edge. Like genuinely impressed. It's so
There's
sick.
a couple of minor things that frustrate me about it, but like in terms of certain websites and stuff. But overall, it's a
just disable the sidebar that they give you as default.
Oh yeah. I turn that off straight away,
and it's great. It's got dark mode. It's got everything I want.
And if you use I'm in America, so I got way more. But Microsoft Rewards and all that built into Bing and Bing searches, I got like friggin' $20K a month. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, man, the rewards are like I've now got the rewards thingy bookmarked. I'm just gonna I'm bored. I'm on a conference call.
Once you get up to like 100 days, they start giving you like $2K randomly, and like Jesus Christ, here's a couple bucks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice.
Why not?
Yeah, I'm not really tapping into that properly.
It will pay
see,
for Game Pass Ultimate every month for you. Like you never have to pay again.
I'm obviously not utilizing it properly. But the other funny thing that came out of all this cloud stuff it was so weird and you know how I keep saying, like, I know we're not a huge podcast, but I keep saying this. If you want to get all the proper takes that people get now, but you want to get them 6 months earlier, then watch our podcast. Like, while all this ABK craziness is going on and all the cloud stuff, I've noticed that people are only just noticing that all these cloud deals. So when Microsoft first announced that they were giving GeForce 10 years of Call of Duty, and then they're giving that other all these random no-name cloud providers, they were giving them access to ABK. And back when that all started, what did we say right on this podcast? We were like, wow, that's really smart of Microsoft, because they're not really competitors per se, and Microsoft gets all the money, because you still have to buy the game directly from Microsoft, and then you just have the ability to stream it via these services.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, wow, that's really smart. It could be seen as dodgy, but very, very smart. And then after, like, more recently, I saw people going, oh, look how shady Microsoft is. They're doing all these deals with cloud providers, but what they don't tell you is that they get all the cut of it. There's no 30%. I'm like,
that wasn't,
and
they didn't start
There's no
that.
storefront.
Like,
there's no store. Like, you have the ability, like, you have to buy the game from Microsoft, because
That's
these
the entire
cloud
point.
services aren't. These cloud services aren't like
they are not
Luna.
a store. They have no storefront. Like, that's
Yeah,
what
like,
GeForce Now is, where they were pretty much just allowing people to play their entire Steam library for free.
Steam got a bit cross.
And then all the publishers are like, no,
Yeah, that's right.
you have to pay
They're
us
like-
for the right to stream our games to these people.
How would you explain what these cloud services are? They're like,
They're just a middleman that lets you
they're
rent their
this
hardware.
middleman. Yeah, they're a middleman. Like, almost think about it. Like, you have all these apps, Netflix, this, that, the other, but then you buy an Apple TV, and all these apps are there, and you can log in and da-da. It's kind of like that. These cloud services are like the device, the Chromecast, the Apple TV, the Roku, that give you access to all the stuff you already pay for with someone else.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of a decent analogy for it, and that's one of the only ones I can think of. That's what these cloud providers are. They're like the Apple TV device or the Chromecast device that just let you access the stuff you've already bought off Microsoft. That's all it is. And people are just realizing it now and be like, oh my God, that's so dodgy. Microsoft's not going to give them a cut. It's like,
No one gives
What
anyone
are
a
you
cut on
talking
any of these.
about?
They make their
They
money
are
from being a
licensing
subscription.
that content. Yeah.
Like, that's why it was smart of Microsoft to do it. Again, obviously the CMA chose to see through it for whatever reason.
Well, no, what the CMA
I mean-
decided was that, well, actually, we think Activision was about to do this, so it's not even a benefit for customers because they were going to do it anyways. And Activision's like, no, we weren't. Activision's never done it. Why would they Activision as a publisher could have put their stuff on GeForce Now and any of these whenever they want. Everything they have on Steam could immediately work on there the second that they just say sure. It's just a button press. It's like there's no work to do. Those games are on Steam, so they can just install them on their cloud machines on GeForce Now, and then they're ready for people. But they haven't done that, and there's no actual reason to think they are going to change that. But the CMA just said, well, we think that they were going to do it within 5 years, so...
Yeah, but
it's bizarre. It's bizarre.
In the end, everyone needs to just stop trying to understand what the CMA is doing. Stop trying to rationalize it, because you won't. Because the CMA aren't going to admit up front why they're actually doing this. So you're going to keep hitting your head against a brick wall trying to understand something that can't be understood. Because
well, you can understand
the
it
real
in the sense
reason
that
they're not telling you.
yeah, they had their conclusion that they were working back from. So is the cat going to do what they have done in the past and just tell them no, eat shit? Because if they lose their
doubt it.
SLC argument about mobile gaming, they have to then come up with something brand new or try and bring back the console SLC.
Yeah.
But they've already dropped all those. So the CMA doesn't, it's a mix. Like, they don't really know how it works. They're just coming out with arguments about why this nascent cloud market is worth blocking the deal over. And if that gets pushed away by the cat, they don't have an argument legally anymore, and they still need that. They do need a legal argument, because if the CAT is doing what it's supposed to, it just gets thrown back at them. Or if they are being irrational,
I don't think they will.
If they're being irrational, it just gets chopped, and they say, nope, this works. Deal through with these concessions. And if the EU comes through with some very strong, you got to do this for 10 or whatever the EU comes with, if it's really strong, for what Microsoft has to do for the deal to pass, and Microsoft agrees to it, that sets a nice rigid, bulwark
backbone.
that the CMA can then look at and jump on and say, see, we got to win type of thing. Like, that's the scenario where it still goes through easily, and not having to, oh wait, everyone passed it except for the CMA still fights it, cat's stupid, Microsoft has to figure out some other way, because I don't think Microsoft will ever give up. They're not going to give it up. If they get it cleared everywhere except the CMA, they're going to do whatever they have to do to push it through. If it gets blocked by the EC, then it's done.
It's dead.
It's dead.
We'll find out. Next
This was
week.
supposed to be a talk about EA being the biggest publisher of Xbox,
but it's
and you
kind of
turned it
it's
into
a,
an
it's a
ABK
boring
thing.
piece of news.
EA
But look,
made a
we'll
lot of
find out
money.
about this next week. I believe it is May 15th. Is when we're gonna.
Well, that's the rumored date by Reuters.
We
and
got everyone's
Bloomberg.
financial calls, though. We got everyone's financial calls over the last week, didn't we?
It's kind of crazy how Microsoft's or Xbox is dead, even though they technically make a lot more money than Nintendo does.
Yeah, I was about to say, didn't like for all of Nintendo's sales of their consoles and their games and this and that and the other, again, I'm not great at reading these financial things, but didn't Xbox kind of make the same or more than Nintendo did?
They made more.
They made more money. Yeah.
I've got a picture. I can put it up.
Okay. And that's with the dead console that
Dead
no
platform.
one buys, apparently. A console that's apparently going to be on 20 million sales for the next
that's
60
Sony.
years.
Here you go. Here's a picture. My God, why is it so huge over here? It's not what my wife ever says, unfortunately.
Isn't it funny how everyone says it? It's the same thing that happened with Xbox One. Remember how Xbox One was on 35 million consoles for
Forever. Forever. That's as far as it got.
Remember, it was just 35. And then one day we woke up and it was it's actually about 50, 55 million. It's so why have you been saying 35 all this time? And now the series consoles, they're just going to be, consoles are just going to be around 20 million for the next 60 years.
It'll be down to 15 million within a couple of years, I think. But yeah.
See, that's crazy to me.
Man, they only made $15,000.
Is that all?
Poor.
Wow.
They all make
Poor
so much money.
showing, Microsoft.
I make more money than Xbox.
I'm richer than Nintendo, baby.
Yeah, I make more money than all three of them combined. Man,
Obviously, that's
I should
million.
run the game industry.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's weird. They're all super successful. They're all really healthy, but people need one's doing bad, or I need to push against this one, or I need to compare them all the time. That's all they got. Because I was watching things and people are talking about Nintendo and they just gloss over the actual revenue and then immediately jump into, wow, they've got a 45 million seller and a 24 million seller. They're 120 million consoles. Yeah, because we're used to those being the main metrics for gaming, but they're not anymore. The main metrics are everything combined. You can't just look at boxed sales and hardware sales. They're incredibly important, but they also end up getting dwarfed overall by microtransactions and free-to-play games and mobile, which is 10 times more than all of these three combined. It's not as important as it used to be, and the coverage of the industry constantly forgets or just ignores that because big number, easy to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a strange but true. Strange but true. All right. I think last two news pieces. On an Xbox related note, they had a exciting camp in Africa.
To encourage, isn't it to encourage more developers
I think so.
in Africa?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So through their Africa Transformation Office, they planned an Xbox Game Studios Game Camp Africa, which is a 2-day conference to recognize and celebrate all game creators across more than 50 diverse countries and regions within Africa. Runs from July 15th to 16th this year. And if you're in Africa and you're listening to the show, you can apply for it if you're a game developer, a budding game developer. So yeah, it's super cool because name me a development team based out of Africa.
I could not tell you one studio or developer out of there.
Right, it's a pretty big country. 303 million
It's even bigger than
people.
Australia. It's even bigger than Australia. There's not many countries bigger than Australia. Actually, it's a continent. Sorry, it's actually a continent,
yeah.
and it's a continent that's a lot bigger than Australia.
Enormous and incredibly diverse compared to what people always think about it, because there's just a lot of countries, a lot of different ethnicities and different languages, and all these
crazy
different
amount
things.
of countries.
Yeah.
And I think this is their third game camp they've done. The first two were in America.
This is it's in its second year, and it's the fifth event they've done.
5, because I know they did New Orleans, they did Louisiana. I remember those. There's been a couple more, but I don't remember the cities. But it's mostly been America, I think.
They're super cool though. I love there's so many games that have been from unique cultures, different places that put a unique spin on things that I've never played before. So it's super cool. What are you giggling at? Who's in the chat being silly?
Gary Barwick made the Nigerian.
Maybe all those rich African princes with millions to give away because they're dying of cancer can fund gaming.
I get all these emails from Nigerian royalty.
Oh man, it's so funny. I was having a discussion with my partner today about IQs, right? Fun fact, did you know that both Sylvester Stallone and Lundgren, is it Dolph? I can't remember Dolph Lundgren. They're both Mensa geniuses, right? I don't know everyone. My partner didn't know. They were all like, what? And then we got into talking about what's our IQ? And I was like, oh no, what if we're stupid? Right? So we go online and we try and find an IQ test, right? And we find one and it seems legit.
Mine used to be quite high, believe it or not.
Of course. But I'm
serious. I say used to be because I reckon I'm dumb as dog shit now, but mine used to be quite high.
Well, I've never done
surprisingly.
So we went through this whole rigmarole on this site to do an IQ test. And right at the end, it goes, okay, if you wanna see the result, you've just spent 20 minutes doing 20 questions. We know we didn't mention this beforehand, but if you want to see the result, 95 cents. And I was like, fuck it, 95 cents, who cares? And then we got to the section where you put in how you're going to pay. And it went PayPal, temporarily unavailable. Amazon Pay, temporarily unavailable. I was like, oh, the two that give me security where I don't have to put in any card details. Interesting. Bitcoin. This is a scam. So I said, quick, go Google on the laptop, this website, because we were both in our webpage things. And straight away, loads of reports, 1 star on Trustpilot. The site has an image of Trustpilot with 5 stars. I was like, this is a scam. And it's nuts. Yeah. We did find one IQ test eventually. I'm pleased to say I did come out on top with an IQ of, I think, 130. And she was like 126. So it's, it's okay. But it was a very cheap test. Maybe I should pay to do the Mensa one. Maybe I'm a genius.
No, IQ is bullshit. Don't worry about IQ. It's stupid.
But made me laugh. Maybe that was the test, to spot that it was a scam at the end. Boom, you passed. You're a genius.
Yeah, you're really smart.
But it made me laugh. It did make me laugh. Anyways, last piece of interesting news from this week was Starfield, the immersive, soon to be 11 out of 10 transformative game.
You know how I've been saying I'm not interested in Starfield?
You are now.
Yeah.
That all changed this week.
Mm-hmm.
That all changed.
I'm very interested in Starfield now. Very interested.
Well, it turns out, Nick, and maybe this is why, it's going to be a little bit raunchier than perhaps you might have been expecting from a hard sci-fi game. It talks about games violence.
Another membership gifted.
What a nice man. Thank you, Biggity.
Yeah,
nice.
And Britt got it. Britt got the membership.
There you go.
Yoink.
Thanks, Biggity.
But that's very kind of you. Starfield, blood, violence, yada, yada, yada.
Sex.
They talk about drugs and
the role in the narrative.
Starfield. But there's lots of sex.
Me up. If there's sex in Starfield, I'm there.
His 3 lines from the ESRB rating that are in the game. Life is a sexually transmitted disease that's 100% fatal.
Yep.
I'm all for
Awesome.
getting a little wild, but next time let's try it without the jetpacks. And lastly,
Yep.
talk
No
about
condoms
seeing
for me.
stars. Whew, that was amazing. I mean, some cool writing, Bethesda.
I am playing Starfield. That is rocketed.
Sexfield.
That is rocketed to the top of my most anticipated list straight away. Because now, like, if my wife walks in and there I am, I can say, well, hey, I'm just playing Starfield. I'm just playing a game like I always do.
Nick's going to be getting into modding real hard.
That ROG Ally is going to get quite a workout.
You're going to be using all 16 gigs of memory to be able to run your jetpack sex orgies.
I'm going to have to keep it docked, though, because I don't think the battery will last very long.
It's interesting, though. So many of these articles, because the other thing that was revealed in there is it referred to in-app purchases or in-game purchases straight away. So many places. Starfield's going to have
so many ugly-faced YouTube thumbnails.
Did they play the last couple
faces on them?
You can do in-app purchases in Skyrim. That's for the Creators Club and the coins and all that shit. Yeah. So you can pay people for their mod work. It's not new.
Yeah, I know. It just cracks me up. Oh, is there something negative we can say? Let's say that. That's fun.
But in the end,
let's get for some controversy.
I know I've been saying from the start that Tears of the Kingdom was going to win Game of the Year, which it is.
Mm-hmm. It is.
But
it is.
Starfield now, mate, true contender. Like if you've got themes as mature as sex in your game, mate.
Are you going back? Are you going to be getting yourself another VR headset running this on PC? So you
I'll get
from web browsing.
Some web. If Starfield's got a web browser built into it, I'll be making use of that web browser.
Oh, good Lord. Oh, good. Great. Glad to hear it. Yeah. That's a visual image.
I don't even know if I told you guys. I got so I'm using the I had the Series S screen. Now I have a mobile screen I'm reviewing. They randomly want to send me some weird display port using VR headset. So I'm gonna have an extra VR headset now. I have no idea why they wanted to send me that.
Do you know what I got sent randomly this week from one of our PR friends? They pinged me. It was like, "Hey, John, in the UK, it's Eurovision this week." Don't know if you know what Eurovision is.
No, it was on my TV.
I don't watch it.
As if people don't. It's on right now, Eurovision.
Yeah, it is. It is. Right.
And I still don't understand why Australia is involved in Eurovision.
They're all Euro cast-offs.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, I get it. We're a very multicultural country, but I still don't know why we're in Eurovision. There's a band from Perth in there called Voyager, I think.
Wow.
In Eurovision as the Australian entrant.
But yeah, the PR team sent me a copy of Let's Sing 2023.
You gonna stream it?
With a Eurovision DLC code and a microphone.
You gonna review it? You can't actually stream it now that I think about it because it's all copyright music. But
I'm probably not going to review it. We did have a go today. It's a singing game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The end. But very grateful
Lips.
that they were kind enough
like
to send
Lips.
that.
Remember Lips?
I remember Lips. Who chose that
Lips.
game's name?
Have
you played Lips?
Oh, that was the dumbest name ever. Like, seriously. SingStar is like a perfect name. SingStar is a perfect name. But as a game, Lips was actually legit good. You could put your own music in Lips and just sing to it. Yes, you're not going to get the words and all that because it wasn't part of the game. But if you just want to have a muck around with songs you know and love and know the words to anyway, you can put your own music in Lips and just sing to it.
Yeah.
That was such an amazing feature that no
cool
other
thing.
singing game took on. Like, I thought that was brilliant.
Hey,
and the mics were really great.
The mics were good. They were wireless as well. And they lit up.
They were really nice
cool.
mics. Everything about Lips was great except the name. The name was stupid.
It's a bad name.
They should have just called it The Voice before The Voice was a thing.
Yeah, they missed a trick.
Yeah, just Lips. What a dumb name. That sounds more like a sex-related game. That
it does a bit
like Starfield. That's what they should call Starfield. Call it. I was going to say Lipsfield.
Space Lips.
Hey, for my fellow UK friends, does anyone remember Channel 4? You would have had to go back like nearly 20 years. So I would have been like 10 or 11 or maybe 12. Eurotrash, 10 p.m, Channel 4. You know what I'm talking about. This would not be something you guys know. But anyone in the UK,
I know Garth
that's
Marenghi's
around my
Dark
age.
Place. That's all I know.
Yeah, anyone that's around my age, cast your minds back. Euro trash. If you were lucky enough to have a TV in your room, and maybe it wasn't an episode that featured some weird old people that were naked, you know what I'm talking about. That was web browsing before web browsing. Euro trash, Channel 4.
Can't beat
classics.
web browsing. Starfield, part of Starfield's marketing, they should market on web browsers.
Yeah. The jetpack sex scene.
They should be marketing on web browsers, I reckon.
I had a thought about Starfield too, John. That game's going to be rough on PC. I might need XboxEra to provide me with a new GPU. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll just sort that out. I'm very curious. I really want to play Starfield from the perspective of someone who's never fallen in love with a Bethesda game before.
So
I really want this to be, I really want this to be my Bethesda game that suddenly hooks me and I'm just like, oh my God, this is great. Like, I really hope it is, but fingers crossed. Lots of people admitting they know Eurotrash. If you know Eurotrash and you haven't hit like, you now have to hit like because you liked Eurotrash back in the day.
And if you don't know Euro, like, you also have to hit like.
That's true. That's also true. Anyway, it's that time in the show where we play a little game show called Name a Game. So let's do that because why not?
Yeah, I already gave you the code like an hour ago. My God, fine. All right, hitting the baton.
Patrons.
Hey, what do you know? Once again, we don't have our patrons selected. I did get the code to that last person. They reached out to me.
That's good.
Oh, good.
So that helps.
That's good.
So if your name gets called out here and you're not on the forums normally, reach out to me so I can actually get a hold of you.
That's so annoying. I keep forgetting.
It's the simple things, man, isn't it? It's the simple things.
What's the date today? 14th. Okay.
I already know who I'm going to pick. I'm going to pick our newest patron, and you can pick our other newest patron. So I'm going to pick Azu, who signed up today, and you can.
Yeah, I was about to say he's
Krishan Isaac
because like he's new. I saw Krishan Isaac as the newest patron.
There you go.
But okay, so yes, that's who we're playing for.
That's who we're playing for.
Can I get
so chat? If you've not been around for XboxEra podcast here, if this is your first time, this is a little game show we play where Jesse takes some name of the games and changes the words around to mean other things, even though they mean the same thing as the name of the game, and Nick and I have to guess them. There's a theme every week, and this week's theme, Jesse, is...
In honor of Tears of the Kingdom, it is open world map games.
Oh no! This is my least favorite genre.
It's actually kind of crazy when you think about what is an open world map game. It's not always what you think. It's not just Ubisoft. There's been a ton of them throughout time. So I tried to mix it up a little bit.
I mean, technically, Grand Theft Auto is one.
Oh,
yeah.
Not even technically. Just straight is. It's a giant open world game with a map.
Anyway,
all right.
Are we starting?
Oh, number one. It is 3 words. The last word I'm using is going to be a hyphenated word. Number 1 is Sphere of Strife Creation. Strife hyphen creation. Sphere of Strife hyphen creation.
I know the first 2 words. I just don't know the third one. And if I say the first 2, John will get it. No, wait, maybe I don't know. Hold on. Sphere of. So I've got the first 2 words. Sphere of what?
Sphere of strife.
I don't want to switch screens. Read it again.
Sphere of strife hyphen creation.
So strife creation is the third word.
Yes. It's a compound word, so I had to do a hyphenated word to match it. Sik and Mechanico.
Game.
You're muted.
He's muted.
If you say it while muted, it doesn't count.
Thankfully, I only said the words I believe. I'm going to go with WoW, World of Warcraft.
Correct.
Because I'm thinking World of, and I'm like, World of something. And I'm like, but I didn't think World of Warcraft's not a map game.
To be honest, as you were asking the second words, you said creation, and in my head, I just went, oh, craft. And I was like, okay, yeah.
Like I said, open world map
World of
games are
Warcraft.
not just Ubisoft games. It is a huge open world with a giant map that you were going through and you were finding things in. Just because the map doesn't have a billion icons on it doesn't mean it's not a map game. It is a game about going through and clearing out a map in the open world.
Because I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, he was saying sphere, and I'm like, okay, so planet of or world of. It's one of those two.
You could call it a stretch, Ryan Tansey, but they knew immediately. Because how many different ways can you say world? So, I've used globe before. I gotta mix it up. Sometimes they're gonna be a little tenuous. It's just, it is what it is when you've got, doing it every week. 1 point for the Sik and Mechanical. There it goes. Number 2 is 2 words. Wariness, Eden. Wariness.
Sorry, I coughed as you said that.
Wariness, Eden. E-D-E-N.
Wariness is in...
Wariness. W-E-A-R-I-N-E-S-S. Wariness.
Weariness.
Yeah. Wariness.
Like you're weary, you're tired.
Yes. Wariness, Eden. Let's go. Rogue is on fire. And Biggity with a super chat.
Wariness, Eden.
Mm-hmm. Wariness, Eden.
I hate it when I know one of the words and I can't get the other word. I know what Eden is. I know the word that you're after for Eden. But again, my brain can't break out of Ubisoft games.
Definitely break out of it on this one. Did I do it? I don't know if I did any Ubisoft games. I think I did that on purpose. Nick and Mechanico.
Is this a driving game?
You just answer. I'm not giving any hints like that.
Well, the second word's paradise. Eden is paradise.
Just the
Oh,
answer.
okay. Well, now I know what that is.
Is it Burnout? Is it Burnout Paradise?
It is.
I knew as soon as you said Eden, I'm like paradise, and I'm in my head. I'm like paradise. Some game with paradise. But then that's why I was like, I can't break out of Ubisoft games. I can't. World of Warcraft's thrown me now. I'm like, so this is just any game.
Yeah, I suppose Burnout Paradise is an open world map game.
Yeah.
But a driving one.
Yep.
Like
But a
Forza
driving one,
Horizon
yeah.
is.
Yeah. It's a lot of games in this genre.
Oh, yeah. It's the most popular genre. All the biggest games are generally in it in some way. Number 3 to break the tie is Demise Forsaking. 2 words. Demise Forsaking.
Open world map game.
Forsaking or Forsaken?
Forsaking. Demise Forsaking. Go. Demise Forsaking.
A map game. Demise Forsaking.
Bum. Correct, Ham. So John will get it soon because chat's got it. I only say it to get a little laugh out of Nick.
It's always good
Demise
fun.
Forsaking. I will give one hint. This game was in PC Game Pass. Sik and Mechanico.
Death Stranding.
Correct.
That is good. Demise.
How is that a good
Forsaking.
clue? How is that? This is like
He got it
11
immediately.
billion games in PC Game Pass.
He got it immediately. How do you mean how was it a good clue? It was a good clue
It is a
because it
good
immediately
clue.
got the answer.
No, what you
I
first
already
said probably more
was
accurate.
toying with death because Demise. Open world map game.
A good clue can't just give you the answer. It's got to hint you in the direction of it.
That's a good one.
Okay.
If you had gotten it right with that clue, you'd been like, wow, what a great clue, mate. Oi, bruv. Then, all right, next one is...
But I didn't get it because it wasn't a good clue.
Was for me.
The next one's very long.
Yeah, okay.
Very long. It is Factual Misconduct. Avenues of the City of Angels.
Factual misconduct.
Avenues of the City of Angels.
I know this. I just can't remember the name of it. Got it. True Crime Streets of LA.
Yeah, nice. Very nice.
Fuck, I'm good.
That was shit hot. Round of applause.
Fuck, I'm good.
It's like straight away I was like, oh, what was the game with LA? And it was really good. I really liked True Crime as well. It was a really fun game.
There's no other way to say LA. So pretty much if you ever just
I didn't get the LA. I got the True Crime. He was like factual. I'm like, factual, true. It's true. It's factual.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
good.
Oh, True
That's
Crime.
good.
Like the factual gave it to me straight away.
That's really good.
All right.
But I looked at the chat.
Tied at 2.
What?
For the win.
Oh, I thought that was the clue. I'm like, what?
No, this is the win. This is the win, mate. This is the win.
Yeah.
3 words. Phantom Scout Crisis.
Oh,
Oh,
I
God.
know the
He's
game.
browsing the web. Turn off his camera.
Oh, I know the game as well. Fuck. What's the last word?
It's the last word.
Oh, shit.
Give me the third word again. Give me the third word again.
Crisis. Phantom.
Oh, this is really
Scout.
bugging me.
Crisis.
I've got one of them, but it's not that one.
Shit. Ghost Recon.
Yep.
Timer started. You got 8 seconds to get this last word.
Shit. Ghost Recon
3,
Wildlands.
2, 1.
Ghost Recon.
Point.
Incorrect.
Break point.
Correct. Stick and Mechanical.
But I didn't get it because I didn't buzz. So
You
we're
won.
still at 2-2.
You won.
I knew it was Ghost Recon. I just couldn't remember
No,
that.
but that wasn't a
third-
win. That was not a
Oh.
win.
How
I
magnanimous
couldn't
of the
remember
cheater.
that third
All right.
one.
Okay, I didn't buzz.
Yep. All right. You're still
As
in
soon
it,
as
Nick.
I said Wildlands, I'm like, it's not right, but I didn't know the name.
I
of
could not
Breakpoint.
think of
I
that
actually,
second
I actually
name.
didn't know the name of Breakpoint. I had no idea of Breakpoint.
All right. So it's still tied at 2 because John messed up and didn't buzz.
Yeah, he didn't buzz.
I was too excited. I was too into that because I knew it was Ghost Recon.
I knew Ghost Recon straight away. I just didn't know which. I don't know my Ghost Recons. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. The next one's real stupid. The first word is a compound word, so it is hyphenated by me. 3 words in total, but I'm going to say 4. The first 2 make up 1 word as a hyphen.
Okay.
It is tiny-squishy travel trainer. Trainer. Tiny-squishy travel trainer.
Tiny, squishy, travel trainer.
Tiny squishy travel trainer.
But the game itself is 3 words.
Tiny, squishy, travel trainer. Travel trainer. Tiny, squishy, travel trainer. Man, I don't know.
I think I know what game this is. I just don't know the name of it. I think I know the game.
If you knew the game, you'd know the name of it. It's not a hard
Is
name.
it an
No,
English?
I
Is it an
don't know.
English word?
If they're games I don't play, then I sometimes forget the name.
Is it an English word that you're translating?
I'm not translating anything.
So okay, so it's straight synonyms. You're not taking like
Great synonyms
okay.
for an Xbox exclusive title.
Oh. Okay, then all of a sudden it's not the game I thought it might be. If it's an Xbox
Tiny,
exclusive.
squishy, one word. Travel trainer.
Oh, no one in chat's getting it either. I thought this was going to be an easy one.
Tiny, squishy.
It is
Xbox
not
exclusive.
scale-bound. No.
Xbox exclusive.
Tiny, squishy. Tiny, squishy.
Though, I mean, it is on
Tiny,
PC
squishy.
in the cloud, so that doesn't count.
Tiny squishy. It's the tiny squishy that's throwing me.
Tiny-squishy makes a compound word that would not be a word otherwise.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Travel trainer. What's travel? I'm trying to get the travel trainer part.
Starting up the timer.
If I can get travel trainer, then you get tiny squishy. You just got to get the travel
Yeah,
trainer.
nobody's gotten this one. I thought this one was kind of easy.
This is a hard one. What is this?
That's the timer. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Oh my
Microsoft
God.
Tiny Squishy.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh my
Get the
God.
fuck out of here.
In my head, I'm like, Digimon something. I'm,
Yeah,
I'm in Digimon space. I'm like,
Iron Mike
damn.
in chat got it right before I said it. So he wins. Nothing.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's brutal.
Tiny
This is the
squishy.
nail-biting
I'm like,
2-2.
I'm thinking of all these games.
I know,
Microsoft.
Tiny Squishy, Microsoft.
There is no more of a map game than Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Quite literally. Yeah, I suppose you're right.
All right. Next one is Zero Mortals Firmament. Zero Mortals Firmament.
Firmament.
I wish I knew what firmament meant.
Firmament.
I wish I knew what firmament meant.
Can I give you the dictionary definition of the word firmament?
Yeah, but that's going to give it all away, isn't it?
Oh, man.
So
Zero
Zero
mortals firmament.
Zero mortals.
The firmament is the vast, solid dome created by God during the Genesis creation narrative to divide the primal sea into upper and lower portions, so the land could dry and appear.
So what, like the atmosphere?
Zero mortals.
Firmament. Nick.
No man's sky.
Correct.
Nice.
Zero mortals. And then you said the firmament. They
Mhm.
created the sky. That's why I said don't say the dictionary meaning. It'll give it away.
No one would have got it, and someone's got to win. I was able to answer the question. Yeah, that was a point. I wanted you to. I
Well
don't
played.
not get it.
Well played, Nick. Well
All
played.
right, there's only a couple more.
One of our newest.
MVPs as well.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
It's what happens. You support XboxEra via Patreon, you get free games. He's going to get a game code now, thanks to Nick's championship victory.
All right.
That could be you, chat.
I have to go back and watch a few older episodes to see who won what.
Yeah.
I got two more.
Because the episode I wasn't there, did John win or did Ursula win?
I think
I won.
John won, yeah.
Okay.
All right. Two more. First one is Impartial Motive 4. Sick.
Just Cause 4.
Correct. That was an easy one. That's why I held it off.
Fair. Yeah, that was easy.
You got it because it's easy. That's the only reason you got it. That's what Nick wants to say, but he's too nice. Last one for funsies. Exceptional Hazardous.
Reset the buzzer.
Exceptional Hazardous. Some might call this the ultimate map game.
Oh, no, then it's not the game I thought it was.
Congratulations, Zach Riley. You're the first.
I was going to say Perfect Dark, but that's not a map game.
We don't even know what that is yet.
I was going to say Perfect Dark. Exceptional. Perfect. I don't know. Exceptional.
Exceptional special. What's the second word?
Hazardous.
Hazardous.
Special, danger.
That's why I was like dark, but dark's not.
John should really know this one. It's pretty embarrassing that he doesn't. Man, his dad's going to be really disappointed in him. Nick.
You just gave me the clue. Elite Dangerous.
Correct.
Yeah.
He just gave me the clue
Nice.
with his dad.
It's really irritating. I actually
Because he
reinstalled
always
that
tells
today.
the story about how his dad played Elite and blah, 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 blah.
Oh, blimey.
See, I
I didn't
listen.
realise I was so predictable.
See, I listen.
Where are you from again? Was it Sydney? Perth? What?
Yeah, see? I listen.
And you're Italian, right?
I would not have got that if you had not given away that clue about his dad being disappointed in him.
I got it
would
straight
not
away,
have
but
got that.
I was like this at the time.
there
Good
you
game. Good game. Good game.
Now I'll wave
GGs.
goodbye and... Oh, wait, no, I'm still here.
Yeah, he's still here. That was fun. Thanks for playing, chat. That was good work. Were they on fire today?
Yeah, They pretty much got every single one of them. The only one that no one got until the very end was Flight
Was
Simulator.
it Tiny Squishy?
Flight Sim.
Tiny
But then
Squishy.
Iron Mike got it in chat right before I said it. So,
Wow.
and we
that
also
is
had a
good.
super chat during that game.
Oh,
Yes,
let's talk
I-
about that. What's the super chat?
Let's have a look.
Scroll. Or did you put it in the chat?
Biggity. What will be the most played game of 2023? Hogwarts, Zelda, Diablo, Final Fantasy 16, COD, Spider-Man 2, or Starfield?
By hours
Hogwarts.
played, it's gonna. I think by hours played, Diablo has the biggest advantage along with Starfield.
Yeah.
Those are incredibly long games. Where Hogwarts was a decent length. Zelda's a decent
I don't
length.
know, man. Zelda. No, but Zelda is one of those games where people keep going in and
One
creating new
platform.
Yeah.
Diablo's got 3.
The only
Yeah,
thing
I
I would
guess
say
so.
is Hogwarts is coming out on Xbox
It's
One and PS4.
already out now. Yeah, it got
Oh,
pushed
yeah,
back
yeah.
to November for the Switch.
Wow, man, that's going to be a rough port.
It seems to be,
That's gonna-
okay on Xbox One and PS4. Not horrible. But yeah,
Interesting.
I think it's Diablo is a game that demands you play it a ton. Like they're like, oh, if
Yeah.
you want to get to the max level, it's about 150 hours. So it's that game, and it's on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. I think that one would have the most hours played, most players. I don't know.
It's tracking very well. Are you doing the server slam at the moment?
No, I did the other 2. I've already got all the things you can get for it. I'm just waiting for the actual review code.
Every time anyone talks about Diablo, I always just want to go, do you know Diablo means devil in Spanish? And then I just want to look at the NXL tweet again because it was funny as fuck. But yeah. Just not
Yeah.
used to you being on camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
I
real
don't know how
woman in the game.
I don't know how I
house.
feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it.
What, Diablo?
No, Jesse
Woman.
being on camera.
I like it. I like Jesse being on camera. It's nice.
I don't know, but when he was just the voice of God,
God. Yeah.
it was more.
It's weird.
it-
I've had a lot of feedback. People want to, for some reason, see Jesse as a main part
I
of the
don't
show.
understand
So
it.
No, I like the voice of God thing. It gives the podcast a more.
Yeah, but you always
You're
have the
encroaching
worst
on Nick's
opinions.
ego.
Like you're always wrong on everything, so that makes me think that this is the right move.
No,
But anyway,
I like the voice of God better.
where were we? So yeah, hours played, probably Diablo. Now, it's the final part of the show where we say a big thank you
Yes.
to our wonderful patrons, especially our 2 new patrons who joined.
Yeah,
I need that
today
name.
we
I got to
played
add him
for
to the
you.
list.
Yeah, got to add them to the list.
I gave
If
you
you
that
like
I got the one.
what
There was
Xbox
the
Era
one today.
does.
Oh well, yeah, I didn't see that one.
Don't worry
I
about it,
woke
guys.
up and I was
Give me the
straight
name,
here.
John. Then you can do your little spiel.
Azu, A-Z-U,
Azu.
AZ.
Azu.
But yeah, so if you enjoy what Xbox Era does, from our reviews, our site, the various web apps we run, forums, our wonderful Discord, you can support us directly so that we can do this all the time by heading over to patreon.com/XboxEra, and for as little as a cup of coffee, you can support us and help us do really cool stuff, which we would love for you to do, because Patreon is great, and they don't take loads and loads of the cut like YouTube does. So yeah, what's the cut? If you go to Starbucks every month, or Costa, or one of the good chains like McDonald's in Australia, and buy a coffee, just think this coffee could support Xbox Era.
It could. Forgo that
You know,
one coffee.
Forgo that one coffee.
Forgo that one coffee.
What if you
Maybe just
forgo
drink some
10
water.
coffees and do the $50 tier, and then your name gets splashed everywhere, and we love you more than
Oh,
anyone?
you become a podcast producer. Yeah, very, very fancy. But yeah, patreon.com/Xbox Era. Help us out. We love you. But one of the perks is you get to ask community questions, which we're going to dive into now before we wrap up the show. Nick, how many questions we got this week? We got lots and lots of conversation.
I don't even know.
He doesn't even know.
Only
Prep.
6, not a lot.
No, I've. There's actually not that many.
Yeah, there's 6 in
Let's have a
total,
look.
really.
I'm going to the footy today too. We're going as a family.
When don't you go to
today.
the footy?
I always go to the footy.
Exactly.
If there's one thing in life that I love, arguably as much or more than video games, it's my footy.
It's his footy.
Video
And the
games in
beauty
general,
of it
but not
is-
nearly as much as Nintendo. You love them more than anyone.
the beauty of it is, like, if Collingwood is having a bad year, then I have footy as the distraction. I have video games as the distraction if Collingwood's not doing well. But if I've got no games to play, if there's not much going on, then I've got the footy. I can watch the footy. It's good.
Fair.
Soccer.
It's a nice balance. Okay. First question. Not Jack. How do you think games media would react if Xbox shuttered one of their studios and had significant layoffs at another one of the studios within a week of each other? My God. It's true, isn't it? Like, so we saw, he's obviously referring to Deviation Games, a studio that Sony don't even own yet.
So wasn't this Deviation signed with PlayStation to develop a new IP?
2 years
back
ago.
in
They put out a
June
tweet
21.
talking about they've signed with a deal with PlayStation to make a new IP.
And from what I can tell, Sony cancelled their game.
Wow.
And
Someone showed. So I think the community manager was Twitch streaming, and someone asked him why did Sony cancel the game, and I think he let it slip and was like, "Oh, I'm not sure. I guess money reasons, blah blah blah." And I don't think he realized that no one knows that Sony cancelled the game.
And
something
also,
like
it's
that.
they were a studio of like 120 to 150 people, and like upwards of 90 might have lost their jobs.
Like 90
so,
people.
Yeah,
Like,
not good.
man. Could you imagine? Like, seriously, it's true though. It's what we always talk about. If this was a Microsoft situation, so if Microsoft closed Compulsion, let's say Compulsion's small, they haven't even announced the new game. We don't know what they're doing. Maybe what they're doing is not very good. So imagine if Microsoft shut down Compulsion, and then a studio Microsoft was working with, like a Sobo. That's a studio they signed did partnerships with, like on Flight Sim, and then a Sobo's like lost half their studio. Do you imagine? And the game they were working on, Microsoft cancelled it.
There would be uproar.
Oh my God.
The Doom headlines would be through the roof.
Oh.
The YouTubers' faces, their lips would be pursed.
The faces on the thumbnails. And just, oh my God.
But yeah, it's right though. Look, let's be honest. If you can't work with PlayStation, you're probably not cut out for this industry.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you
know,
can't
like-
work with the best publisher on earth that makes the highest quality bangers.
Funnily
then-
enough, that was the Resetera thread about this news.
I know. If you-
Yes.
It was actually
If
their
you-
take.
Yes, that was some people.
Yes,
there.
there was
Me.
someone on Resetera who was like, well, I guess if you can't make it work with the best publisher in the world, then you basically must suck shit. Like that's pretty much what the post said. And I
Not
was
feeling
like,
bad at
dude.
all about 90 people losing their jobs or anything. I got to use this to
Oh
pump
my
up my favorite brand,
Get your tongue, remove it from the sphincter. Just like seriously, just come on, man. Like,
Rough.
my God, what you think that's the
Jeez.
only game Sony's ever cancelled before? Like, come on.
Man.
I
Heart
just-
goes out to
yeah.
all the developers that lost their jobs, man. That is rough.
And
Especially
they're not
after being
and the thing
publicly.
is, yeah, like they're not a PlayStation first party, so it's not like media Pixel Opus. Those devs most likely will be absorbed into other PlayStation studios. I'm not sure if Deviation will have it that smoothly. So, yeah, hopefully everyone.
Was that the studio that
Lands
had
on
like the
their feet.
PlayStation controllers on their walls and everything?
Oh, they
Deviation?
were virtually just the PlayStation first party studio without officially being owned.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. Oh. You know.
Rough. Bad times. Sucks to be them.
Yeah, but I guess if you can't make it work with PlayStation Studios, then what's the point in existing, right? What's the point? You're clearly not good enough. Make your way over to Game Pass, fodder.
Yeah.
They'll have ya. They'll have ya. No worries. Okay. Hytham G. As a makeup from Phil Spencer Kind of Funny Xcast interview, in general, how would you gents feel if Xbox Game Studio got Seagate when he says stuff about great games and such? Your gents' take on his saying? P.S. Any Mother's Day plans with your wives or any of your relatives, gents, like a dinner or something? I had dinner we went to my mum's last night.
Mother's
Yes,
Day's in
because the-
March for me, so no.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, we went to my mum's last night, and my grandmother was there as well. So we just did a barbecue at my parents' last night for that. And this morning, my kids will have given my wife her present, and then for Mother's Day, we're going to the footy.
Nice. Lucky her.
As to the Phil thing, I'm trying to actually work out what you're asking there. As a makeup from Phil Spencer, kind of on the X-Class, in general, how would you gents feel if Xbox Game Studio got Seagate?
This is the quote where Phil said, "Great games isn't the be all and end all. Like Starfield could be an 11 out of 10. It wouldn't change."
Oh, you mean when he said they don't want to compete or make big games anymore?
Yeah, no, he didn't say that.
Oh, but, I mean, that's what every other podcast
if Xbox Game Studio got Seagate.
Yeah, so like if Microsoft just shut down because they got beaten by PlayStation, they just
because
had to go Sega, go third party.
Yeah. How would you gents feel? Oh, that would suck.
It would
Xbox
suck.
Left.
It's like, oh, let's hand the keys to the kingdom to the the team that never fucking innovates.
Yeah, and like shut shit down and like no. And again, I don't even care from a games perspective. For me, it's not even about the games because I don't play most of Microsoft's games. So I don't care about that. I care about it from a platform perspective. Like, I don't care what anyone thinks. Sony's not the company you want unchecked in video gaming. They're just not. Like, you ultimately don't want any of them unchecked. I mean, Nintendo does their own thing anyway. So what you see with Nintendo is what you would get with Nintendo unchecked. So if anything, Nintendo truly unchecked, like if Xbox and PlayStation were to disappear tomorrow, Nintendo would at least go back to making powerful hardware.
Yeah. They would have to.
So maybe you want Nintendo unchecked because then we can get their games on decent hardware. But Sony, no, my God, you don't. You do not want Sony unchecked. Look at the stuff Sony does when they have competition. Now imagine that, but without competition. Like how much worse they'd be. Like you do not want Sony unchecked.
It would be awful.
I mean, Microsoft unchecked. I think I said this last week. Microsoft unchecked. We got a little glimpse. We got a little glimpse with Xbox One. Because they were kind of the market leader with 360. They were kicking ass. And the irony is I actually thought we got some innovation. We got One Guide, we got Connect. I don't know if Microsoft unchecked would be as bad as people assume.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They just want to control how they make their money more.
Probably.
Yeah, by removing the physical
They may do other bad things like that people think is bad, but yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, there's an in-depth discussion.
They had their vision of where things were going that ended up being pretty damn accurate, and they were just like, okay, we're gonna force it. They don't.
Yeah, they were 5 years too early.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know, ClickerM. Why do we have so few likes this week? What's going on?
Don't know.
Don't get it, man. 250 people.
Not
125 people could hit the like button. It's not hard. It's not a hard job. We're not asking much.
There are two metrics that YouTube really cares about. They care about watch time and engagement. So that means talking in chat, hitting that like button. That's what they want. Even more than views.
Yeah.
Views don't mean anything if you're just clicking in and you don't do anything and you leave. You're not getting any ad money, nothing. They hate views compared to watching and liking.
I mean, we don't get a rumor mill if you hit like, but we almost did have a rumor mill. Almost.
That's going to get people to hit dislike.
Almost.
I tried. I asked last night. Like I was driving home from my parents last night. Sorry. And I sent a DM. And I was like, can I have that on the rumor mill tomorrow? And they're like, no.
Boo.
May have been a Fortnite rumor.
Oh, who cares then?
Yeah, so probably no one cares. It may have been a Fortnite rumor. Okay. Oh my God.
Too much web browsing.
Next. Skedaddle. Oh, wait.
Oh, yeah.
No, Skedaddle doesn't have a question. Jesse Brother. Well, I do have a question this week. Wait, no, I don't. Hope you get lots of views streaming Tears if the Kingdom. It's a typo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. DeoGame. So there's not many questions at all if that's the case.
No, not really.
No, I know.
DeoGame. Hi all. No questions this week. Just wanted to announce for our Toronto area friends that I am organising a local watch party for the Xbox Game Studio Starfield show. I'm just finalising details with the venue now. I have an Eventbrite set up I should have an Eventbrite set up by the end of the week. Let's bring some positivity back. We kind of need it. What's an Eventbrite?
It's an application to register for events. I've used it in a work capacity before. It's super cool of DeoGame to do that. So, you know, like if you're on the XboxEra forums or Discord and you're in the Toronto area, watching that kind of stuff with like-minded individuals might be a good laugh. So, you know, maybe give him a nudge.
I would say we have an XboxEra worker who's in the Toronto area, but he will be on the stream with us. So
he will be on the stream with us. We will be streaming the show
and the extended show, which I'm not setting it up for you, Nick. I don't think you want to get up early for the extended show on your Wednesday.
I should be able to do it though. But we will be doing, just in case those were wondering, yes, we'll be doing our usual fun predictions vid. We'll start maybe getting some guests on in the coming weeks to hit up with predictions and things, what they think. It'd be good to get Grub back in. We haven't had him in for a while. Talk some sense into him. He's been listening to too many people in the Bay Area about the state of Xbox at the moment.
I think he has been. Okay. Good old Collingwood. Happy weekend, John, Nick, and Jesse. It's getting close to summer for John and Jesse, and you know what that means. BBQ Cookouts. Do you do family and friends get-togethers around a barbie with beer, steak, sausages, and salads and a cheerful atmosphere? If you do, what are your cooking specialties?
You skipped one again.
Part. Only asking this. What?
I think you skipped one again.
No, you didn't.
I got him backwards then.
Only asking this because of the promotional tie-in that Bethesda ANZ has with Smoky Q's Bite Back Barbecue Spice Rub.
Very on brand.
Yeah, do you do family and friend gatherings?
It's interesting. I do. We had one last weekend around my folks. My younger brother cooked, which was great. He did steaks for everyone, but I was very disappointed to see that he bought a lot of sirloin, which I was like, what? But he did, to be fair to him, he knew that I wouldn't be happy, and he got me a Wagyu ribeye, so I was happier. I'm doing a barbecue. So next Friday is my 39th birthday. I've got my kids for the weekend.
Over 50.
Yeah, thanks, bro. I feel it. I've got the weekend, the Saturday, but then it's my daughter's birthday and my partner's birthday on the 21st. They both have birthday on the same day. So we're doing like a big get together on the Saturday during the day. So you know, my partner's mum's coming down, my folks coming down, brothers, the kids. Should be a good laugh. Hopefully we have good weather. My speciality, I cook a fantastic steak on the barbecue, like perfect cook. Can't cook, Nick. Can't cook.
No,
bro. But yeah, I love cooking barbecue food in general. And here's a hot tip recipe for you, for everyone that's doing a barbecue. You know that when someone turns up, they always bring a freaking potato salad.
Yeah.
And it's always like this gloopy, awful.
I love potato salad.
I'll give you the recipe right now for the best potato salad you've ever had in your life. All right.
I don't know if that's true. You're from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, bro.
No.
This is good.
Like food.
New potatoes.
I don't trust
food.
Try it. Try it.
In UK.
Try it. Try it. Let me tell the recipe. All right. Try it. Come back to me in chat. This will go for you. Let me know if you find that this potato salad is fucking awesome.
Like if an Australian says they recommend food, then you go, well, yeah, okay. If an American says they recommend food, depending on the type of food, it's probably fairly nice, but the portion size.
You know, there's over 300 million people here. You can't just.
I'm not Jez, all right? I'm not beans on toast. Is the only culinary thing I'm going to have.
The UK and food.
Look, new potatoes, get them nice and hot and cooked up, right? And it's really simple, okay? When you got those new potatoes, you don't mash them, but you just kind of knock them about a bit. Huge dollop of mayo, full fat mayo in there, loads of black pepper, 2 cloves of raw garlic, and a big sprig chopped up raw spring onions. Just chuck it all in, stir it up. I guarantee you it is the most Moorish, delicious potato salad you've ever had.
The only
He's
good
fucking
UK
banging.
food are those little fingers, King Charles's fingers.
Those sausage fingers. Delicious.
The only thing that comes from the UK that I really like is like pies.
Chicken
Pies
tikka-
are good here.
Chicken tikka masala, the best invention in the UK.
Didn't pies originate in the UK? Like even the Australian meat pie did that.
It used to just
originate in
be
the
I've
UK?
got a bunch of old ingredients and I need them to last a long time, so I make a pie, and that crust keeps them from going bad because we don't have refrigerators yet. Like that was the invention of meat pies. They were just
They're
garbage
so
food,
nice though.
but now they are.
Nah,
'cause
meat
people like
pies,
it.
meat pies, like it's a full thing. There's a place down here called Pie Face, and they do so many nice different. Like there's the what's that Indian dish?
Dal.
Nah.
They got a lot. There's a lot of Indian dishes.
Yeah, I know. But think about one that would be in a pie. Why is it my brain lost it? I love it so much. Oh my god, I'm so frustrated right now that I can't think of this dish. But man, Pie Face. There's a place called Pie Face down here that does all these cool pies. Oh, chicken and leek. Oh, chicken and leek pie.
Chicken leek and ham hock. Oh, so
What?
good. You put ham in with the chicken and leek.
No,
Really
you
good.
don't.
Yes,
You don't do that.
Yes, you do. It's pretty standard.
And
Ham
then you're
hock,
wondering
chicken.
why I'm not taking your recommendation on the potato salad. Oh my god, you people and your
How are you
food.
complaining about more meat? Like
Ham
sliced.
and chicken? No,
Yeah. Why not?
not in a pie.
It's pretty normal.
Not in a pie like that. No, the
He
chicken
hates
and
chicken
leek is
cordon bleu.
designed like chicken and leek in that pie does not need the ham in there. I'm aware of other dishes that have those two things together.
What if this dish could have it and it tastes good with it? You can have yours without. There can also be made
I'm not
with.
talking like honey roast wafer thin ham here, Nick. I'm talking like slices, chunks of gammon. Do you have gammon? Do you know what gammon is?
That's
Boiled
worse.
ham. Oh my god.
That is worse.
If we're going
Come on,
back,
all right, next question. I've had enough
we're-
of
if we're
listening
going
to
back
you
to that question, 'cause he
sully
asked-
the good name
he
of
asked us
British
both.
cuisine.
it's been friggin' 90 degrees out here for months. So yes, I grill a couple times a week. I don't do the whole barbecue with all the smoke and all that because I got too many people near me. But I got a grill all the time, grill everything. It's great. We've got my son's graduating high school. I have a big old party for him and lots of grilling. Yes. In Florida, you grill 11 months a year. There's really 1 month a year where it's kind of too cold. Even then, I can still grill, unlike everyone else.
Oh
here.
man,
like
I
it.
barbecue in midwinter. Like, it doesn't bother me. If I'm gonna
Butter
cook steak,
chicken.
I'm not doing it in a pan.
Butter chicken. There's
Butter
a butter
chicken?
chicken pie. So butter chicken in a pie. Oh, it's so nice.
No, and Mort is right.
It's so nice.
I barbecued on stream. I made some chicken wings while I was streaming.
Nice.
I got my phone as a
Nice.
camera, had it propped up to look outside, and would jump out there every once in a while.
Meat pie. Even chicken veggie pie.
We got one last question.
So many nice pies.
If people want this show to keep going, you can send in a ton of super chats and make us stay here all night
That's true.
if you want.
8-hour slow cooked brisket chili.
Kay Asante's in the chat. He just came over from Gaz's podcast. So Gaz's podcast is clearly finished.
Wow. That's a long show.
I don't know how long they went for. But they had Kay Asante on there and Huggeat, who still hasn't bought me Resident
I
Evil
love
4.
barbecue, Sante. I'm in. We live very
Good
close to
food.
each other, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Like Jez's spaghetti and tuna, but he did it with like a white sauce. I was like, what are you doing? That's not how you have tuna.
Why? Why wouldn't you have it with a white sauce?
It's just not how I would do it. It looked like it was in a pan. It was long spaghetti as well. Like it's just
Tuna
It's just weird.
goes better with white sauce than it would a red sauce, like a Napoli sauce.
agree to disagree.
Okay. I'm from a country that is world renowned for food. You're from a country that serves shit.
Saying
on a
this
plate.
whole thing as a country, there's millions of people. Some can cook,
Yeah,
some
man,
can't.
it's- I
There's
don't like
plenty
these
of people.
generalizations.
There's
It's
plenty
very
of people in the UK
problematic.
that can cook fine. There's like 3 or 4 of them, maybe. There's hundreds of thousands in the US. There's probably a couple hundred in Australia.
If someone from the US wants to recommend barbecue stuff, then I'm all ears. I am all ears. Anything else, I'm less inclined. Have you
Because you're
seen those
xenophobic.
TikToks? Have you seen those TikToks with
Yeah, I've seen some with the egg in the
like
pan. There's just the eggs there, and it's like, why?
Yeah, they just throw shit on their tabletop, and they just start mashing it, and they throw chips in there, and then they throw cheese in there, and then it's like, oh my god!
It's a TikTok of stupid people being dumb. Yeah. Again, there's over 300 million people in this country. A lot of them know how to cook. A lot of them don't.
I love cooking.
I
had a really
night,
nice chili and lime salmon stir fry tonight for dinner. It was delicious.
I got taught
okay,
how
Nick?
to cook when I used to work. I used to work at a pizza shop, and they taught me how to make pastas and pizzas. But that was back when I was like a teenager. I don't know if I know. All I can make now is pancakes.
Know how? Yeah, you can get your control powder into some baking stuff, and that's about it.
Yeah. I know how to make pancakes, and that's all I know how to make. That's it.
So you mix water, you mix powder, and then you put it on a griddle or a pan. Wow.
Whatever, Demetrius. Nick is an embarrassment to Greeks and Aussies with his ideas on food. Shit.
I had Euro.
My ideas on food are fine. I'm just an odd Greek in that I don't like a lot of traditionally Greek things like feta and olives.
I had a Greek
stuff like that. I don't like those things.
Greek Lebanese fusion where I had a Euro pita, but it was with tabbouleh in it. God damn, it was good. I love tabbouleh.
Super chat from Jason. Oh, by the way, speaking of super chats, last week we actually missed 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, there were so many. It was tough to keep up.
I want to apologize because there was a few super chats we missed last week. I need to go back and watch and write them down who they were. But yes, if you watched last week and we missed your super chat, I'm sorry. Because when I was doing the timestamps, I looked back and I was like, oh man, there was like at least 2, if not 3 super chats that we missed. And Jason might have been one of them. Nick is not wrong. We are renowned for the quality of our produce and food more broadly. True? Yes, 100%. That's a part of it. The fact that we get it all from here. It's all our stuff. Like our filet fish at Macca's even. Like we source it from ourselves, like from Hoki fish from Australian oceans. Like it's all the best stuff.
So you don't have to pull it in from half the world away to have some nice old rotten fish.
Like the rest of you do. You know how many of you get your food from here?
3.
You get your stuff from here?
6.
Heaps of you do. Because ours is the best. There's a reason for it.
You need the blue.
Mate,
you need the
everyone I know.
Australian version of the MAGA hat.
Everyone I know that's gone like to Macca's all over the world, they're like, man, everyone else's Macca's is so shit compared to ours. Like, it's just... Even our McDonald's is like 10 times better than all of yours. It's just... can't compete.
Any McDonald's that is better than anything in the UK. UK McDonald's is fucking garbage.
No,
it's genuinely so nice. Garbage. It's awful.
Nice.
I went to an Amsterdam one and it was like, yeah, okay, well, I could eat this like everything else.
Really? I went to Macca's in Greece and it was shit. Like I did not, and KFC was even worse. The KFC in Greece that I went to was so bad. I was like, is this even chicken or did they just find some animal in the street and like cook it? It was so bad.
Hey Nick, remember the thing you tweeted out? You should never do that again because we're 2.5 hours in. We will never have a short show, ever.
Yeah,
no, we're not 2.5.
This is the last question.
We're 2 hours and 20 minutes.
We've been live for 2:26.
Okay, last question. Cap Coug. Hello, gentlemen. John, great job on the Forge maps. Congrats on getting them in matchmaking.
Thank you.
Question. Should Microsoft send out review copies anymore now that everything is on Game Pass Day 1? Preview coverage would still exist to build hype for marketing, but just tell all reviewers, hey, enjoy it Day 1 on Game Pass like everyone else. It's just that after the inconsistency of the media review coverage this past month, I personally want to see this shift. Think about Hi-Fi Rush and how the Xbox bad negativity was drowned out. Just think about reviews for shows. Yes, some screeners go out for a few episodes, but the vast majority of reviews from YouTube personalities happens after the show airs to everyone at the same time. Reviews would still happen, but they just couldn't stop a game from finding an audience on Xbox Game Pass. Have a great weekend. I think there's some truth to that.
Nah.
I think Microsoft don't have to worry as much because of Game Pass, but it's only if they have that full consistency there, right? And there are arguments there that has, the quarterly release schedule hasn't quite hit yet. That's getting there. But for a lot of game developers and reviews is part of the marketing beat, and previews don't do the same thing. You give everyone, game does well across the board. It gets 8s and 9s. They get to pump their chest. They get to put out all of this blurb about how great their game is. Look how many people think it's great. Gets them into the zeitgeist for a while. They enjoy life. I don't think it's ever going to be a thing that goes away, but can Microsoft evolve the industry to a point where they don't have to give as much of a fuck? I mean, Redfall, despite the terrible reviews, still climbed up the most played charts, right?
Would you say it was commercially successful?
No, I fucking wouldn't use those words. It's a little in joke there, XboxEra fam. Love you, Proven. But yeah, it's just going to be one of those things. It's like Netflix, right? There's often terrible shows on Netflix, and you think, like, who is watching this? People just do, right? And the reviews might be terrible, but sometimes terrible shows get watched a whole bunch, and then they get
too hot to
season
handle.
2 and season 3 and so on. So
Too hot to handle is quite interesting. I appreciate the thumbnails they use for those.
But yeah,
very easy to hook me in. Quite easy.
Any other thoughts on Capcoop's question?
I mean, I don't.
I think they should try it.
I was talking. Not? It's already a thing where, like, he said, need to be more selective or choose. They already are. They are all very selective. They're all. You have to. We work very hard to get on the list, and even then, like, you'll see a game hits in all the early reviews, and you got like 50, maybe 100 on the biggest games. Then even like Elden Ring went from about 100 to after 2 months it was about 200. Like, they're pretty selective on who they give things early to already. So if you want them to be more selective or start, freezing out people who are overly negative in your eyes, I mean, that's just what that is just
it's like blacklisting does to Kotaku and stuff like that.
That's what Sony and Nintendo already do. Like, they would just be doing something that's already done by the industry for the most part. Like, people, I won't ever name names, but there are people I know who are like, yeah, it's very clear. If you give a Sony or a Nintendo big first-party game a bad review, chances are you're not getting any more code from them. So
yeah,
Microsoft
which is a terrible thing.
But that's not dodgy at all.
That's fucking awful.
That's not dodgy at all.
But it is what it is. Very strange.
Maybe that's why Microsoft needs to do their own thing.
They are selective. They don't give it to everyone, which is why you heard people complaining and crying about not getting things. Like even Redfall, there were big YouTubers who focus on Xbox who didn't get the game to review, and like it's already a thing. So I think it's more a point of, should they be more selective and start freezing people out when they're the ones that are doing the this sucks and the friggin' platform's dying, they gotta change everything type of YouTube pog face thumbnails.
Rhetoric.
Yeah, like if you give into that thing, I think chances are like, well, we don't want to really work with you. That's just already happening. I don't think that's something they have to change, really.
Yeah. That's the thing. As long as you give it a fair shake, the review is there to tell, and it's different from like a TV show, right? Because a TV show, the most you're paying is your subscription fee, and you get lots of other things with that for whatever service you're subscribing to.
And how long does it take to review a TV show?
It's an hour of your time.
And
plus,
then you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. But the game can be 50, 60 more hours long, and it's also got a higher monetary value individually attached to it most of the time. For your average AAA game, 60, 70 quid. As a consumer, the reviews are also there to tell you, is this my kind of game? Is it worth the money? Am I going to have a good time, or is it a pile of garbage and I shouldn't touch it? It's there to help save that, right? So they serve a purpose, right? It is what it is. The industry is weird. I'm
just tired, Lewis.
Yeah.
Just sorry.
The games.
He goes, you okay, Nick? I'm like, I'm really tired.
It's all right. Well, the games industry is changing. The way games are covered, YouTube is more prevalent than ever. Games media has to do some things to change. XboxEra has gone through some big changes this week. For those that aren't aware, two good friends and colleagues that have been with us pretty much since the beginning, One Bad Mother and Kage Maru, aka Mike and Abe. They've stepped away from Xbox Series to go and
I did warn
concentrate
Abe.
on life a bit and do some cool stuff
him.
on their own.
I did warn Abe. Said to him.
Did
said,
he encroach on your turf?
Stop trying to appear on my podcast. I said, don't do it. Fuck around and find out.
But like, there's no like scary drama there, right? It's all good terms and shit like that. But you know, we had a meeting earlier this week. We were talking about like how we can do the best we can on a very small, limited budget team, and it's hard, right? But what can we do that's different that can put us up next to those big boys out there that have all the budget and all of the PR contacts and codes and all of that jazz? And I think we do a damn good job. And more to do.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and Pete, look, I can see someone asking about applications in the chat. The amount of emails I get asking, legitimate job application emails asking to write for XboxEra, and the hilarious thing about it is I'm like, bro, I ain't even getting paid. Like you can go out and get a job. Like, this is a team of people with a dream that want to go out and achieve it, and we're doing everything we can to realize it with our community.
Maybe not
helping us
Nick,
get there.
but most of us are.
I'm generalizing, but but that is also a testament to how good a job I think we do, right? That you have legitimate people out there that are writers and work in this industry that want to try and join this team because we're doing something a little bit different.
We're incredibly good at faking that we have any budget.
I know, it's great, isn't it?
Or time.
But so help us out, Patreons. Join patreon.com/XboxEra. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
If we get to rely on Patreon, we don't have to worry about clickbait ever.
Yeah, and we don't like doing clickbait. It's not commercially successful for us.
We haven't really tried it yet. We haven't really tried it yet.
I mean, my coffee with the base of thumbnails are kind of that. But I tried to make it
you're having ironical fun.
Stupid. Do you see the
I
Lego
love
2K one?
the Lego. Yeah, it's brilliant. Your little cheerful
assembly.
expression out of the driver's seat. It's great. But yeah, there you go.
That's it.
It's the end of the show.
A nice
It's the end of the show.
2.5 hours.
Not bad. I predicted between 1 and 2, and we're bang on. So
Crisp, short and crisp.
a
2.5
crisp,
hours.
short show.
Very crisp, sharp, punchy 2.5 hours.
You know the show from last week? It was over 4 hours long, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. SoundCloud, our previous podcast provider, did not have a file size upload limit. For the first time in XboxEra history, I had to lower the codec from 320 kilobytes per second.
Oh, really?
To a disgusting 120 something. Like, I went down. I was like, okay, 320, no, 192. Then like 160 something, and then I finally got the file size. They have a 250 meg limit.
Jeez.
And I could not upload the episode at the highest quality that I normally would.
Wow.
So there you go.
Disgusting.
Fun times.
This one should be okay.
And if
this one should be okay.
If we want
This
to actually
one's-
promote ourselves correctly, I can say we've got a lot coming to the site over the course of the week. What it is, I don't remember, so I won't do it well.
Oh, you don't remember
That's
what we've
fine.
got coming to the site this week?
We've got
yeah,
like-
you do.
We're at 2.5 hours. That's fine.
Lego 2K Drive.
That's crisp. That's
Yep.
crisp.
And Jesus Christ. No, I mean, I legitimately don't remember. Because they're smaller things.
That's
and,
fine.
Yeah, you know. Oh, there
Keep
was
it
one
to a
thing.
short,
Yeah.
Planet
sharp,
of-
crisp.
Planet of
Lana.
Lana's later this month, a couple weeks away, I think. We're working on the review on that
okay.
one.
Hopefully, we'll get them on the show early next month.
Proto
late this
Droid
month.
Delta is one that Fairy Empire is working on from Humble Games. That looks real neat. It's like a Mega Man X style platformer.
Nice.
Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, we got a
Cool.
bunch. Oh, I'm working on Warhammer 40k Bolt Gun.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
You get there in the end. And there you go. That's it. That's the end of the show. Chat.
Yep.
Thank you for hanging out. It's been absolutely brilliant. Love you guys.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in.
Yeah, it was good fun. Good fun. Short, crisp show, just like Nick
Yeah, very
wanted. You can
crisp.
go and enjoy the football
Short,
now.
Crisp. Yeah,
I'm gonna
very
enjoy
excited.
it.
I've still got a bit of time. I'll go get a coffee and then I'll start getting ready for the footy.
Nice. I'm going to have a lay-in without children. It's going to be great. No
That's pretty
kids waking me up tomorrow morning. It's going to be glorious. But until next time, we'll see you later, chat. Stay safe, play games, have fun. We'll see you next week.
See you next week. Ciao for now.
Oh yeah, my microphone's on in the scene. Hi everyone, how you doing?